Hey everyone, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm Ethan Van Sciver, 26-year veteran of the comic book industry. No, 27 years. It's been 27 years now. I got to get that straight. 27 years in the muck and mire, in the grime, in the hell that is the comic book industry. How are you all today? Let me survey the landscape here and see. We've got Mr. K. We've got Futurist Tomorrow. We've got Andrew Venables. He says freedom is the only choice. Freedom is the only choice, guys. That's all there is. Anything less than freedom is slavery. Let's not forget that. Let's see who else we got here. We got lots of people. Early, what is this? 3:30 on a Friday afternoon. Only been awake for a few hours, making some phone calls, figuring stuff out. It came from Nerd Cavis here saying, looking jacked, Uncle E. Reed T is here. Rob K, level 4, says, we are free. And Super Ant says, Hail Caesar. Well, good morning. It's morning to me. Whenever I wake up, it's dawn. Let me see here. Yeah, everybody's coming in here. This is the thing to do. Oh, look at this. How great is this? Tippy Tail McKitty finally says, I got my frog book today, Ethan. No, I got my frog book today. Thank you, Ethan. You're welcome. I just got word that everything's going to be gone on Wednesday. Everything by Wednesday, every campaign, everything is going to be shipped out. That's the word that I got. Everything. Line art variants. Andrea and I are shipping the Salamandroid remainder campaign. We're doing that ourselves by hand. I ordered the bags and boards. We're going to get those out quick. That's only like 800 ship. I mean, we've never done it, but like we're geared up to do it. We're going to get the dining room together. We're going to get everybody in the house involved. We're going to hand ship just to make sure the chromiums ourselves. And I think there's a way to do this. And I haven't really arranged this with my fulfillment center, but I think there's a way that you just, once you pack and ship something, you click fulfilled or something like that on the individual who backed it. And then they get a little message saying your package is on the way. I think that's how you do it. But when you're working with a mass project like Cyberpunk Blood Honey and these larger fulfillment issues, I don't think that they're actually doing that. I don't think those guys are clicking fulfilled. So people are left in endless wonder about when their packages are coming. Well, I will tell you this. Everything is going out. Absolutely everything is going out Wednesday. Micah Curtis is here. Micah Curtis, welcome to the show.
How's it going, Ethan?
It's going good, but I got to turn my microphone on. My speaker's still on here. Hold on a second. I want to hear you in my ears like this. And the amazing Adam Skull Crusher Friended is here.
What's up, Ethan? How you doing?
Good, man. Pretty good. Woke up today. I posted something last night on Twitter that's got everybody a buzz right now. Why do I do that sometimes?
Why do you post on Twitter?
Yeah, why do I tweet things? And
maybe you can't resist the annihilation that is coming your way. Maybe you're a glutton for punishment. Maybe you like to thicken your skin by taking all the slings and arrows out there from the SJWs and the anti-ComicsGate people that want to throw slings and arrows at you.
I certainly don't mind it. I am somebody who is ready to go. I'm ready to go. As they said on The Sopranos, I'm ready to go to the mattresses. I got a Serta Perfect sleeper. Let's go do it. Carla Rowe is here. All right. Yes. Carl, how are you?
Hey. I'm good.
Good.
This is a great time for me for once.
I know. Like, here's the thing about doing live streams. You just do them at any given time of the day, and somebody up in the world is like, "Thank God you're finally doing it when it's convenient for me." That's what it's about. Carla Rowe, creator of a book called Death Sworn. Is that still active?
Yeah, still on demand.
I'm gonna find that.
Working on the final parts of the main book, and then once I get all that done, I'm gonna go head first into the ash can. Already got like 15 pages deep in the ash cans, but separating it up instead of splitting my time. See,
I can't wait until Adam has a book to promote.
Soon, hopefully.
Adam's gonna kill it. He's like he keeps saying he can't market it to his audience, but he's gonna kill it.
Well, you think so? I'm I'm a
Yeah.
hopeless pessimist. Are you kidding me? I keep thinking it's going to be brutal. I'm worried that Preston
Everybody
Poulter
thinks that the
gonna
first
come to
time,
my
though, man.
channel
Everybody
and-
thinks that.
I'm worried that Preston Poulter is going to come to my channel and rib me right and left, like, you can't even get above $500.
Neither can he, so you'd be on equal ground.
Well, he's bragging about his Kickstarter now that he's like, look at this, $2,000. I am the great Preston Poulter.
Golf clap.
Preston's interesting because he actually said that in one of his videos. He kind of said, look, if Ethan's allowed to combine all of his 5 Cyberfrog campaigns and say, I made $1 million on Cyberfrog, surely I should be allowed to combine all of the campaigns I've done, which is $30,000, and say that I made $30,000. I'm like, yes,
Sort
you
of.
are.
I mean,
Yeah,
well,
good for him.
They were all for different issues of the comic, though. Yours is all one comic with different covers.
Well, I mean, tomato. You know,
I'm gonna keep that attitude when I launched Deathsworn Book 2. So on the day of launch, Deathsworn Book 2 is already gonna have 30 grand.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Deathsworn too. So it's accumulating from where you are right now. Hold on, let me show people Englewood. Let me show people Deathsworn so they understand what's going on here. Not a lot of people understand. Hello everyone. Deathsworn Book 1 by Carlo Rowe, $32,680. I love Deathsworn. Deathsworn is an awesome concept. Think of the idea of solar vampires. Right now, we're all used to internet vampires. We're used to time vampires. We're used to all kinds of different vampires. We've forgotten all about blood. Blood doesn't really mean anything anymore. It's time suck vampires, internet vampires.
Emotional vampires.
Emotional. Oh,
yes.
Why do people want to just take our love and take and take and take?
There was an episode of what we do in the shadows. Have you seen that where they have an emotional vampire on? Oh, it's so hilarious. Like she just sucks the life out of everybody. And then she's like hugging them and she's like giggling as they're like totally dying.
Why would you bring Renfamous onto a TV show? That's my question.
Oh yeah, there you go. She's well, I mean, she's some kind of vampire. She's the drama vampire, I would say.
She definitely sucks. Like we can all go. Like I think we can all agree on that. So.
That's the one thing the vampires all have in common. They all suck, and definitely Renfamous sucks. So Deathsworn has solar vampires. They actually feed on sunlight, on the sun.
Yeah, on like solar energy. They have to take like these solar baths in solar chambers. And they keep topping up their energy. That's one of the cool things about it is the female character, the princess, who gets on this ragtag team with Deathsworn. She has kind of like a ticking time bomb. She's in a solar chamber and charge up every now and then. Otherwise, she's gonna just turn into dust, turn into little solar dust.
How weird is that? Normally, vampires don't do well in sunlight. I mean, your vampires are the reverse of traditional Hollywood vampires.
Yeah, well, I kind of just used vampire as like a word to be like solar vampires, like the race and the empire is called dark stars. They're dark stars because they make stars go dark because they have these giant solar stations that wrap around suns and sap it of all their energy, and they can use it they can weaponize it. They can shoot it across different galaxies using relay stations. It's real cool.
God damn it, you're so cool, Carl. You have big ideas. That's a Grant Morrison scale idea. God, that's so awesome.
Grant Morrison's one of my boys.
As soon as you said that, they suck suns till they're like, they suck sunlight dry and make black stars. Yeah. I'm like, oh, they're like Green Lantern.
They're kind of like they're like mobsters as well, because they'll barter with planets. They'll go down to planets and be like, all right, we have your sun, but we need slaves to man this station. So how about we give you an hour of sunlight a day, and you give us this amount of slaves to work on this station, and the planets have to commit to it,
Yeah. This is okay. So our heroes do what? Here are our heroes right here, presumably. What are their names?
Yeah, we got Deathsworn front and center. He's like he's kind of like a man with no name kind of character. You find out a lot about him. He's a guy that's has everything taken from him, and he's just out on a revenge quest. And slowly, it's chipping away at his being. And he gets on this adventure with Princess Tatiana Darkstar, who's a rebel princess. She doesn't like what the Darkstars are doing. Her dad's the emperor. She's like always running away, always trying to start rebellions, having to be brought back. She ends up on this adventure, and she's put in a place because of these guys, because of Deathsworn, where she actually has to commit. Either she's gonna keep running away, try to survive, or she has to turn and face her family and face down her brother, face down her dad, and finally put an end to this. And then you have the swashbuckler Dominic Danger. He's an ex-space pirate turned bounty hunter who gets wrapped up in this cause as well.
And that's him right here on the side here. Yeah, I like him. He's cool. Awesome. So at the moment, your featured perk is the comic ashcan and sketch card. You're gonna do sketches.
Yeah, I've got sketch cards printed up already here. Yeah,
you're gonna do 130. Oh, Carl, I got to tell you, man, make videos when you're doing this, because I'm. You've seen what I'm into, right? I got 726 of these to do.
Well, these are just sketch cards, so they're essentially trading cards, and but they're cool because they're custom made. So that's one right here. So that's an ink drawing of Deathsworn, just a little sketch. But on the back, it's a proper card. The back is a cool glossy back cover, and the front it's smooth. It's like drawing paper. It's like Bristol board. That
is pretty. That's really cool. So that's $50. $50, guys. $50 gets you the ash can. It gets you the book, and it gets you a sketch card. Pretty awesome. Adam, what do you think of that?
I love it. Do you actually isn't that called a Dyson sphere, where they actually encapsulate a sun and get all the energy from the sun? Do you use that term in there?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm way too stupid for that, man. I'm just like,
I love the idea that they hold out like sunlight. Like, you're only going to get an hour of sunlight a day, especially in wintertime, when I'm like, I hate it when it gets dark early. So I just can imagine 1 hour of sunlight a day being completely torturous.
Yeah, the Ashcan, there's a preview of the Ashcan on it, and the Ashcan sort of deals a bit more with everyday stuff, and it's cool because there's a planet that they're using, they're forcing slaves to grow crops on, but they haven't given them enough sunlight to grow crops. And the Darkstars are like, no, we don't care, cough it up, or we'll just kill you all. And they're like, we literally can't grow it. Stop being so evil.
A lot of people in the chat are upset right now, concerned. They all have questions for Carl. The big one is, Carl, why did you get a haircut?
Oh, it was Christmas. I couldn't look like a weird little hermit at Christmas. I had to look presentable in front of the rest of my family. I only see them that day, so every day I'm up in the attic drawing.
No, I love it. This book is one of my favorites. The link's in the description. It's called Deathsworn. Go back it. Go support it. I want to introduce you to another comic. This is Micah Curtis right here, the sleeveless one, green sleeveless. Englewood, the sleeveless wonder. Englewood #1. A hero is born in blood. Aren't we all? We're all born in blood, you know. Aren't we?
What's the name of that mucus stuff? What's the name of it?
Oh, I don't. Does it
what's the name of that shit that pops out afterwards that Tom Cruise eats and stuff?
I know the word, but I don't want to say it. It's just, there you go.
That's it. That's the one.
Yeah, well, there's no placentas in this comic. I didn't really go down that direction. But no, Englewood #1 is the beginning of a new superhero called the Saint of Englewood, who starts off as the best mixed martial artist in the world. And after a drug scandal in his last title fight, decides to come home to Chicago and become a philanthropist. Tragedy strikes. He decides, instead of trying to better everything with just being a mentor to young people, he decides to use his fists and start getting even with the gangs of Chicago. So it's a 36-page comic. We are over halfway done with it at this point, between script, pencils, and color work as well. And this one is, I'm excited to get this into people's hands, hopefully within the next couple of months, because it's going to be a gorgeous book.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. The link's in the description. Englewood #1. We're at 12,585 right now. We can bump that up to 15, I'll bet. Well, let's make that happen, guys. Get a copy of Englewood #1. Even though, let me see, what are you supposed to back? Your tiers are so cheap.
There's so few of them left. All of the expensive stuff sold out really quickly.
Sold out. I got it.
So, but yeah, I have the director's cut as what I would recommend to everyone, because it's the comic itself, which is 36 pages, plus a forward written by me, and then all of the sketch work and behind the scenes stuff, plus the winners of the art contest as well are going to have their artwork featured in that as well. So it's going to be definitely a collector's item. This is the only campaign that you will ever see this version of the book on when it comes to me. Like, you'll never see it again. So it's definitely something you want to snatch up. And if we do get to 15K, when fulfillment starts, I'm going to be flying down to North Carolina and make sure all these are signed for you guys as well.
Oh, that's great. That's cool. Also want to promote Graveyard Shift Volume 2, the Andrew Huerta variant, even though, I'm telling you, I don't know if it needs very much promotion. It's just cruising. But that's what happens when you make a comic book campaign and you do it for fun. I mean, that's basically what John Malin did. He did it to be competitive. He kind of said, look, my book is sitting $3,000 behind when it comes to 2019 and the top Indiegogo campaigns. My book is sitting $3,000 behind these books, and I don't want to be $3,000 behind these books. So I'm going to open up a new variant cover campaign for the book that I closed down, and boom, look at this. He only needed $3,000, and he is at $45,634. Links in the description. If you haven't backed this cover yet, John Malin almost never reopens his campaigns. He never gives you another chance. This is your chance. He's he's got some new perks up here, including one that just kills me. Look at this. You can get a comic book. You get a bust sketch. He put bust here. You get a bust sketch that he's going to draw. That's what it looks like. And a T-shirt. A John Malin hand-drawn sketch, $250. A pretty good deal. And to get the comic and the shirt as well. I got my shirt. You can wear this T-shirt anywhere. I wear it all the time. It's one of those T-shirt designs that looks good under a flannel or something like that. It's just very simple, just a skull in a circle. What do you think of that, Micah?
I love it. Sometimes the simpler you go, it's better that way. And Malin definitely has that in spades. He's a very practical artist. And that's what I love about his style. And he's a practical dude. He, like he says, he plays checkers like a motherfucker. Now, what brings the question, I know John's watching. John, when am I getting a Graveyard Shift checker set at this point? Seriously.
So that we could all play checkers like motherfuckers.
Exactly. That's the tagline. Checkers like a motherfucker.
Adam Post is here, and RT Bear. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey. Happy New Year. I haven't wished you all a Happy New Year yet.
Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy New Year.
It's tricky because we've got two Adams in here now. So now I got to figure out. I guess it's just
call me Skull Crusher.
They call him Brandon.
And you call me Posty.
It's good to have all you guys here. Happy New Year to everyone. I send New Year's greetings from the Brightwisers. I called them up today. Nice. I think I don't call them very often. I don't call Mitch very often, but I think like when I do call him, he thinks he's like in trouble or something. Why is Ethan calling us? What's going on? I was just checking on them and just like, hey, if you guys need anything, like, let me know. And you should probably like just make like little edited videos. The thing about it is that the landscape of YouTube when it comes to ComicsGate has become so crazy that if you are not a full-time culture warrior who's like ready to take abuse, and we all are, except for RT Bear, he's not. He doesn't want to take any abuse.
He gives the abuse. Yeah.
He's the abuser. I like that.
I'm glad to see Art here. I didn't know if you were going to bump in, Art, because if we start talking, I had a very nice talk with Art yesterday, and there are various members of ComicsGate that want to stay out of the drama, and I feel like Art is one of them. So,
well, just know I got a little backlash from Mike S. Miller for going on your show.
Did you?
Yeah, because I said that he and Edwin are referring to ComicsGate as a cult, and I said that on your show. And Mike is sticking by that he never said that. So there was a little drama this morning.
I hope it wasn't too bad.
Well, the point is that's how we all took it. So he can just apologize and move on with his life. We took it that Mike and Edwin said the ComicsGate are a cult in a negative way, not a love cult.
How about just stop saying it in the future would be like my counsel. Like he seems to keep like dancing around saying, "Oh no, I never said they were a cult. I said they were like a cult." It's like, okay.
Some people they act culty, he says. They act
exactly.
culty. Yeah. It's like saying you're not a see you next Tuesday, but you act see you next Tuesday if you know what I mean.
Maybe stop using the word cult altogether.
I think we should own it. I already got my tracksuit and my Nikes bought. I'm booked my trip to Mexico.
Well, Ethan's
during the punch.
Ethan's got the fez with the.
I've got the fez. Here's the logo right up here in the corner. This is called the Holy Gate to the Temple of the People's Rainbow, and this is if ComicsGate goes full-fledged cult, and I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to it. We could if we want to. Our motto will be Incelsior instead of Excelsior, you know. And we will have a picture of a trebuchet flinging a soy boy into the sky. Again, you know, we're talking about making the fezes so that everybody who wants to make this into a cult have it be a cult. But I mean, the whole Mike S. Miller thing to me is very simple. I mean, Mike knew that you know, his friends, you know, the people who are anti-ComicsGate were using the word cult. They're calling ComicsGate a cult. So whether or not he did it, whether or not Mike said ComicsGate is a cult, he would never do something like that because he knows the consequences. But what he will do is put his finger in your eye by using ComicsGate and cult in the same sentence in a way that he can back away from. Plausible deniability, like a coward. Now I want to talk about. I'm sorry. Now I want to talk about you know, ComicsGate and OG ComicsGate because I said something. I'm like, there are a lot of people, not a lot of people. There are a few people who are still kind of talking about how I'm OG ComicsGate, and there are ComicsGate newbies that came on board. These guys, interesting. These ComicsGate newbies. These pros came on board and then changed ComicsGate. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. John Malin goes, stop. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Look, ComicsGate, the original plan for ComicsGate had always been to recognize. It was kind of built out of almost like a shock. It's like, hey, wait a second. Social justice warriors have taken over the mainstream of the comic book industry. And, you know, oh my God, like, let's talk about it. Let's prove it. Let's prove our case.
It was a reaction. I mean, there was a bunch of us who were making videos all around the same time, you know, your boy, Captain Cummings, myself, and others. And what you started seeing was like all these big videos that were getting like hundreds of thousands of views because people were just in absolute disgust of where mainstream comics was. And that was, the inevitable first part of it was just getting the word out there. It's like, this is a classic part of American culture that's getting SJWized, and it's been taken over. The process is complete.
I mean, like by the time like ComicsGate recognized what was going on, it was kind of too late. And you know, it was already a part of you know, the comic book industry. These people had already burrowed their way in, and they were going to go down. I mean, they were going to bring the ship down and go down with it. You know, I mean, it's like there's no way you can pull these guys out of their positions of power. You know, somebody showed me a cartoon yesterday that was really, really good, and it wasn't a cartoon. It was like, this is how SJWs work. They say, hey, nice thing that you've got there. You know, it's sexist. Let me be a part of it. You let them in. Let me see if I can find this. Can we find that one little cartoon where somebody was explaining how, like, the cycle of social justice warriors?
Yeah.
It was really, really great. And of course, when they posted it, people reacted. Social justice warriors reacted and said, no, it's the other way around. Like, you know, you guys, I don't know how it could possibly be the other way around. But basically, social justice warriors invade something. They demand that changes be made. First, they want to be invited in because there aren't enough of them in your hobby. Once they get in there, they announce that changes need to be made because things are sexist and evil. And then they, when you argue with them, they kick you out of it. They say, you don't belong here anymore. This wasn't made for you. Go make your own thing. If you don't like being kicked out of this hobby that you had, you make your own thing. And then they go, how come you're excluding us?
Yeah.
Your new thing. And
you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just an endless cycle of, horribleness. And I think that, there's no way out of it except to, again, build your own space and then just fiercely gatekeep social justice warriors out of it. And
then create your own cult.
Create your own. Well, it's not, I don't think business or industry is a cult. I think that, I've said from the start, fire all SJWs. And I remember them getting upset about me for that too. I make these pronouncements like, hey, if you have a business and you care about it and you have SJWs in your employment, fire them all.
Yeah, I actually was shocked when you said that, because that's an aggressive statement. But it's true. Any business, any organization, any structure, they are there to poison. So you've got to get the poison or the troublemakers out of business. It's nothing to do with, anything other than people that are there not for business. If they're not there for the business, get them out.
Well,
right.
Go woke, go broke, right? That's one of my favorite sayings. It's like,
well, that whole thing goes back to the idea of, like, you were saying that they look at something and they go, well, I'm not included in this, or hey, you need more feminism in this or something. But that's not even the way it works, because what you're really doing is you're kind of giving into, I don't know, like socially inept people, like socially ill people, right? Because if you bring anything of value to the table, if you're a valuable asset, people welcome you. People want you to come in. People want you to go, oh, hey, you're going to be cool to play Dungeons and Dragons with? Come on in. We don't care anything about you. For at least in modern, like, recent history, that's the way it is. And that's why it's like, when you give in to these people who are just ill, that can't add value to something, don't understand why they can't get into something, because they don't add value to it, and then they just poison it from the inside out because they create this environment where they cannot be criticized.
They also have a false assumption about the world. They think men and women are identical. Like, they honestly believe that. So that's a huge problem when you're, like, putting products into the world for certain demographics. If you think men and women don't want different things, you're going to make crappy products for men. And I would think
the Adam Carolla quote, where in 50 years we'll all be chicks. Like, that's how things are kind of, like, grooming everybody into, like, one mindset, but it's not a masculine mindset. It's more of a feminine mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you accept any of this stuff, I mean, that's what Adam said just then. What Skull Crusher, excuse me, just then was dead on. I mean, like, men and women are different, and what these SJWs say, what feminists say, it wasn't made for you. When you criticize what they're doing, should be shot right back at them in almost every single industry that they invade and attack. This wasn't made for you. And if you come in here and try to make something that's appealing unisexually, it's not going to work. Men and women like different things. Georgie Alexopoulos and his tweet about what he craved for a new Star Wars movie was fucking insane to me. It was insane. There is a new breed of, like, metrosexual male that maybe will go along with this kind of a thing, and George is one of those. George actually said, I wonder what Star Wars would be like if there was no fighting and no war, but it was just a complex battle, an emotional struggle between a man and a woman, a relationship, a love, and they had the Force. What would a Star Wars movie be like when it was just about relationships?
So a marriage story, but with Force users. That sounds boring as shit.
Well, it sounds like rape to me, honestly. I mean, what is the Force? How does the Force work within some kind of sexual relationship? It doesn't. It sounds a little bit, as SJW say, rapey to me.
Well, so more along the lines of 50 Shades of Skywalker, then.
I mean, basically, like, let's appeal to the Reylos and everything. That's what Star Wars is doing right now, and it's floundering. It's having a real big, it's eating itself alive. In the meantime, you just appeal to normal people. Mandalorian's doing great. you know.
Maybe we should just take over romance novels, and then we can make those ours. We can change them up. We can make them like Soldier of Fortune and harems.
Soldier of Fortune, but it's like we go it'd be like romance, but it'd be hardcore pornography. Like if we were to make if men took over romance novels, first of all, they'd be fully illustrated.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
what are all these words, for heaven's sakes? We need pictures in here.
just like men dominating women, you know.
In 5 years, it would be the comic book industry.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the equivalent. I mean, here it's like, yeah, that's right. Girls, gross. That's gross. That's our reaction, not in so many words. To when feminists and SJWs come in and ruin things that are distinctly masculine and traditionally meant for boys. So this was a thing, an issue. And isn't Adam Skullcrusher your yoga instructor? Now, wait a second. I'm not so sure. Okay, so, but I mean, that's the thing. I mean, there's some girls, obviously, John Malin points out that, hold on a second here. Anna does not have a masculine mindset. She squeals at dolls uncontrollably. No, she's a girl, but she likes traditional Star Wars and Star Trek. She doesn't want to change to fit her a feminine viewpoint. I mean, she likes Star Wars as it is.
It's like not about changing things. It's about ruining things. Because if you take Star Wars and you turn it into something else, you've ruined Star Wars. It's not Star Wars anymore. Now it's just some other mess that's like a heaping pile of garbage.
Well, there are interests of men and women that overlap. So catering to those interests is a wise business decision, but just catering to one interest. Like I've watched some of these Rise of Skywalker reviews that are by women, and I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but they really like that Reylo stuff. Like that's what draws them. And it does absolutely nothing for me. Like it turns Star Wars into a romance novel.
Well, there was excitement between Princess Leia and Han Solo.
And a little bit, it was kept to a minimum. It was like a 10% thing. Like the Reylo thing is like 50%. It feels
I mean, the new trilogy is Twilight. That's all it is. I mean, Twilight.
Oh my God.
See, now if it were up to me, with Twilight, I had to go see all the Twilight movies because my then wife was into the Twilight novels. She's an adult. She's reading these Twilight novels. I want to go see the movies. So I went to see them. And the whole time, what was so frustrating about Twilight was the distinct lack of interest, of masculine interest. Because you've got vampires. I like those. You've got werewolves. I like those. I wish they didn't walk around shirtless. I wish they weren't all pretty boys all the time. But vampires versus werewolves is something that I could get interested in. But it's like, I remember the culmination of like the third movie that, it was like they're fighting over this completely bland, boring woman. And of course, she exists so that bland, boring women who are reading these books can imagine themselves in that role. I mean, it's not like she's ScarJo. She's not, it's like, not everybody gets to be ScarJo, but everybody could probably be Kristen, what's her name?
Stewart.
Right. Kristen Stewart. She's, she's perfectly bland. There's nothing special about her. But this little vampire boy's obsessed with her. Werewolf boys are obsessed with her. And then they're going to fight over her. They're going to fight at the end of this movie. And I'm like, fuck yeah, there's going to be blood. There's going to be, there's going to be death here. It's going to be a big fight between vampires and werewolves. And then she goes, if you love me, you won't fight over me. And they go, okay. And that's it. And that's the end of the movie. And I was like, fuck, what a letdown. So it's like if men invaded that space, like imagine if I got to be on Twilight and work on that movie, I would have been like, here's a 20-minute fight scene for the guys who are watching this, who are suffering through this movie, blood, claws, teeth, people, fighting, destruction. But no, it's all women. Now they've taken over Star Wars that way. And it's just that relationship was completely Twilight to me. It was just, they're star-crossed lovers. Who gives a shit in Star Wars about that? There's just no point to that. And I still don't understand what Kylo Ren was doing, what he was trying to do.
No.
Yeah. Even the assault on the fan base is kind of telling them like, you as men should enjoy this. Like, you're defective because you don't enjoy this, because you want a 30-minute fight scene at the end of Twilight. That makes you an evil person. That makes you a sexist pig.
If you love Kristen Stewart, then surely you won't want violence. Well, I don't, and I do.
I want both guys to fight for 30 minutes, and then I want them both to die and her to be screaming at the sky at the end. I want them both.
At least one of them loses a hand. Like, oh, his hand got cut off.
She gets her top ripped off in the middle of the fight too.
Oh, that would be good. Would be there you go.
Twilight was it was like 7 movies and nothing happened. If you boiled the story down, it would be 10 minutes of nothing. I mean, really nothing happened in the books or the movies.
Well, it was fan fiction. It was romance for young girls, you know. So the movie reflected that, and I guess that's okay. But don't turn Star Wars into that, you know.
No, don't turn Star Wars into that, and don't actually. Vampires are bad. I will say that. Vampires are evil.
That's safe to say.
I mean, they really are evil. And John Malin's here. John Malin, hello.
I've never seen Twilight.
Yeah, I've never seen it either.
You need to see it. It's a must see.
The werewolves are weird, man. The werewolves are always like.
I feel like it's not made for me.
It wasn't made for you.
It's not made for
me.
I thought when it came out that it was made for chicks for some reason.
For young girls,
yeah.
It most certainly was.
And yet
his wife dragged him. He told us why he saw Twilight. He wasn't standing in line at the movie theater. Oh, I got to see this Twilight.
My daughter was the perfect age for all that Twilight stuff, and she didn't like it. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't good. Twilight was not good, John. You know, I mean, look, I've seen chick flicks. What did I see that was a good chick flick?
Every musical theater act you've ever seen.
But I haven't seen any of those. I mean, that's all Zach lying. Zach lies and says I go to musicals. I don't. I'll bet Adam Friended has Skull Crusher has been to more musicals.
I hate musicals. What are you talking about? I can't stand musicals. My wife is always trying to force musicals on me, and I don't like them. No. I saw the Book of Mormon, and that's amazing. That's the one. That's fair. That's the one. I was like, I got into the theater and I thought, this is a musical. What are you doing to me? Like, you lied to get me here. But it was great. It was awesome. Totally awesome.
I'd go see those guys. Yeah, the South Park guys.
Yeah, I can't wait for springtime for Hitler. That'll be a great musical.
Is that coming out?
The producers, I thought that was a funny idea.
Sweetcast says the book is better than the play. He's Mormon, obviously. He prefers the actual Book of Mormon to the play, the stage play, mocking it and all of his beliefs. John,
do you feel dissed? You grew up Mormon, Ethan, right? Do you feel dissed by the Book of Mormon?
Of course, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, outraged.
No, you don't. Come on, get out of town. You don't feel dissed by it.
Now,
in the program, the actual Mormons had pages and pages of advertisements. I thought that's the way to go right there.
Yeah, that's what I heard, is that Mormons were they were handling it in a positive way.
They were.
I don't want to speak on behalf of Mormons. So.
They were.
But the Mormon Church, like I saw this on Twitter and people were upset. The Mormon Church has stockpiled $100 billion worth of wealth. Money. $100 billion. This church.
Why not
Catholic
too?
Doesn't surprise me one bit.
Look, Mormons are. I hate to say it, they're my favorite. When I get a knock on my door, and if it's a guy in a white shirt and a black tie, I'm opening that door. I've been hiding out from Jehovah's for a month now.
How do you tell the difference? They wear the same outfit.
No. These Jehovah's, they come dressed like you and me, and they have iPads in their hands.
Oh, the iPads give them away.
Yeah, and they don't, like, Jehovah's Witnesses could be any age, any gender. I mean, they're not, Mormon missionaries are boys traditionally, sometimes women, but rarely boys between the ages of 19 and 21, and they travel in groups, and they have to dress the same.
They have the white shirts, the long sleeve white dress shirts with tucked into the slacks. Yeah.
Usually a little name tag that has their name. Elder Malin.
I haven't seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like a title like that. When we make our ComicsGate cult, maybe that'll be my title.
Elder. We'll call ourselves elders of the Holy Gate for the people.
There has to be a circle of elders.
And we'll have that name tag.
We go into a dark room and there's all like little pillars and there's all the elders are standing around it, and you have to submit your comic book into the center for approval.
We're fighting progressive values. We're the status quorum, and we'll just be all of us together, the elders of the status quorum. God, that would be badass.
Will there be human sacrifices?
Yes.
No.
No. Yeah.
We're only killing SJW. We're not killing you.
Let's not jump the gun on any decisions.
We might need a good human sacrifice every now and again.
Let's make a vote. Let's take a vote.
It's like that. What's that guy? It's like, hey, so how does it feel to kill human beings? How does it feel to kill humans? And the guy's like, I don't know. I've only killed communists. So we will not have human sacrifice.
Well, do you think the trebuchet will kill or just maim?
I don't really care as long as it flings them away. I mean, that's the trebuchet. Like there's no plan. Like we're saying, look, we're flinging SJWs to the moon, but we don't really know that for a fact, and we don't care where they land. We're just flinging them
just out of our temple,
just away from us. Wherever they go, that's fine. It's up to them to
Wasn't Kim Jong-un like blowing up his generals with like artillery?
Yes. Yeah. He used like an anti-aircraft gun.
So if we were flinging SJWs at a brick wall, it wouldn't be too far, apart from norm.
Yeah, but then they would die. That's
just out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind.
Can you imagine getting hit with an anti-aircraft gun? Oh my God.
That would hurt. Incelder Malin. So Incelder, elder, elder.
I like it.
Yeah.
We can get the fezzes made. I have a custom fez link, an Alibaba link for custom fezzes. They're not very cheap, but I sent in the private chat if you want to research further.
I've seen it.
Don't have to wear them. Yeah.
Just find a poorer third world country. We'll get a better deal.
Ethan, did you grow up on Mormon dances? Because I've probably been to maybe 100 Mormon dances. There was I grew up in a small town. There's nothing to do. The Mormons every single Saturday had a dance. They'd play good music. Lots of cute girls. Like, I'll be Mormon. I'll be Mormon now.
Yeah, like most of the girls I dated as a teenager were Mormons, which was frustrating. But
there is that part of it.
I turned a few of them at them. Don't worry about that.
I like the Mormons. I had a neighbor that was a Mormon, and he found out that I drew comic books, and so he would have me come down to the church, and I would teach them how to draw Spider-Man and stuff like that on the weekends and things. So yeah, fun.
Mark
did they give you any of that 100 bill?
No, there was no money coming my way. Yeah.
I like their business model.
Yeah, 20% to the church, right, or something like that.
No, 10%. 10%. Why not 30? Why not 20, 30? Why do Mormons always show up at my house using the Sith rule of 2? I can't trust them, says Mark C. I think that's for their own protection, but I don't. To be honest with you, I really don't know. It feels like they're ganging up on me. Steps and Gold says, "Would you rather land on a planet of SJWs or spend the night with Lena Dunham?" I could do the night with Lena Dunham. I mean, I feel like I'm already on a planet with SJWs. I don't know what the difference would be. We're here.
Yeah, if banging Lena Dunham could make them all disappear on this planet, I'd make the sacrifice.
Take one for the team.
Yeah.
Just jump in bed and play dead. You can do it. 8 hours. Act like you are no longer living. As soon as the hospital shows up, as soon as the ambulance shows up, you're out of there.
Yeah. Well, her little sister did it, so, and she's still around. Oh, sorry about that. Man. That was brutal. I apologize. I apologized while I was saying it, just something I rarely do. Ladies and gentlemen, John Malin's Graveyard Shift, Volume 2, the Andrew Huerta variant cover, is available. The link's in the description. Make sure that you back it today and get this thing to 46,000.
Yeah.
I want to point out Death Sworn also. By the way, Death Sworn's picking up some backers here. It was a really, really good pitch. $32,899 for Carl O'Rowe.
Ooh, thanks. It's so close. 33. Let's go.
Let's get to that 33. And Micah abandoned us, but his Englewood project picked up a couple of backers as well. 12,604. So that's a nice thing. I don't know where Micah went.
Yeah, I think he got his internet cut out.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
The internet cut out.
Doesn't Art have a book too? Chronos Mechanics.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, Art came in.
I think I forgot to pitch it at the end of our live stream, Art, and people in my comment section were giving me a hard time.
Hey, no problem.
I love Art's new book here.
Yeah, it looks great.
I'll put this in the description as well.
It's going strong, and we're only under 1,000 away from the next stretch goal. And at 30K, we add 6 new pages to the story, which will bring it to a 60-page story, which is the premier amount of pages that I wanted to tell the story. So we start at 48 pages, and then we will bring it up to 60 pages, which will have a lot of backstory and extra action in the story itself. So yes, thanks to everybody who's backed.
Is anyone else doing that model? That's such a fascinating model where you're actually adding pages of story for different stretch goals. So you could literally be getting a book that's 48 pages or longer, right?
Sure. Written at 48 pages. So then we had a stretch goal for 6 additional pages, which we're at 54 right now. So I kind of structured it for a 48 page, for a 54 page, and a 60 page story. So the 60 pages will be all the bells and whistles without compromise. So I'm pretty sure we'll get there, and that will be perfect.
So if you're adding pages, just can I ask, are you adding more like set pieces and stuff in the overall story? Are you still ending in the same place, or are you ending in a different place?
Yeah, the beginning, middle, and end are the same, but we're adding some backstory, a little bit of an additional we're explaining the big machine a little bit more, giving more detail, and there's going to be a pretty huge fight scene with the T-Rex at the end. we call her a bitchosaurus. So
nice.
Yeah,
I'm really glad it's
T-Rex.
Yeah, I'm tired of like the wimpy dinosaurs trying to take over for the T-Rex. We've had that discussion.
Yep, no raptors.
I still have College of the Dead in demand. And we're now over 9,000. It's a black and white book. We sold a little less of it, but we almost doubled our goals so far, and it's going great. We're going to do color on College of the Dead 2. And all ComicsGate, all because of ComicsGate.
All right, so very good. Also, I want to point out Adam Post has a book called College of the Dead, which is still in demand. You're waiting for College of the Dead 2 to launch. By the way, I got my copy of College of the Dead. It's in my comic box right now. It was great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. It's 140 pages. It's a black and white zombie apocalypse story. It really just pulls you in like a movie. And it just came out great. People love it. I'm so happy it shipped to everybody now. We got it internationally, like everywhere, promised as delivered. And we still have the book in print, which is fantastic. So
people can just order it and get it shipped out to them right away.
Just order it. And it's at collegeofthedead.com, redirects right to that Indiegogo page too. So yeah, you'll get your book like nearly immediately wherever you are in the world. It's very exciting.
Hey, the link is in the description. Hey, we got Jeremy the Quartering in the chat. That's a kind of an honor. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So the title of this stream, of course, OG ComicsGate is dead. Long live ComicsGate. I talk to these people all the time now. I feel like ComicsGate, and you guys can these are my feelings. You guys can correct me or redirect me. We'll have a little conversation about this. But I feel like there are some people who were ComicsGate voices in 2017, 2018, who kind of didn't come along with the program of building an industry, a competitive industry, to fight against the mainstream. Because of that, I don't know what else there is to do. I've said this from the start. Like, look, they're not going to change. We realized that after a little while. I don't know how many more times you can get kicked in the teeth and told like you're a Nazi. These guys can organize and create campaigns of harassment and abuse against people who disagree with social justice warriors. We were right there in the thick of it. You know, I almost feel like I almost feel like these people think it was fun and want the old times back because it was so much fun to like send, you know, abusive tweets to, you know, these SJWs, you know, in response. These people didn't really have any stakes. I mean, John, do you remember what it was like?
Yeah, it's a lot of heated discussion going on from, you know, the YouTube channels out towards Marvel and to a lesser extent DC Comics. Yeah, about a lot of the behaviors going on. Yeah, it was a battle zone a year ago. I'm not sure it's still the same way. I think a lot of people are just, you know, they're hobbyists, and you know, when they have time, they just focus on what they want. They're not necessarily wanting to go along for the ride like what we're doing. And that's fine. More power to those guys. You know, but yeah, we're trucking on. We're gonna.
But those people really weren't people that made comics, right? Because like everyone else here, like OG, yeah. So OG ComicsGate people, like they care about comics, and that's awesome. But there are other guys who actually we make comics. That's what we do. So we feel the same way. So we're like, we're gonna make new comics that are done the right way, that care about story. That's the difference, is like they can't make comics, so they wouldn't even conceive of making different comics. They just want to go to the people who make comics and say, hey, change them. We want them different. But we're actually not, we don't do that. We make the comics.
We're the answer to that.
We're right. Like ultimately, like you can sit there and you can like yell at these guys and say, but I want Spider-Man to be good again. I want it to not be like SJW. And then they say, go fuck yourself, Nazi. And then that's the end of the conversation. I mean, that's the problem. The problem is we butted our heads against these people for a long time. And the harder we fought, the more they tried to find out where Zach was working so they could get him fired. They found inroads into his children playing video games so that they could harass his children over the Xbox 360. Or whatever it was. You know, it's like, this is like, it wasn't fun. We had more and more weird stalkers. You want to know why Zach isn't on Twitter anymore? Because he was being stalked, abused, harassed, so on and so forth, just for expressing his views and fighting back against these weird, you know, milkshake obsessed culture warrior freaks who were obsessed with destroying the comic book industry. And it would be great. Like for some people, it was like, hey, I'm just making videos that is like, you know, that's saying, hey, why is Dan Slott, you know, doing this, doing that? That's fine. I mean, I guess you can do that. But if you're actually trying to affect change and make a difference, telling them that what they're doing is wrong and is losing them business, they don't care. They already said they don't care a million times. The only answer, the only way to move forward is to actually make your own comics. It's to make your own industry and gatekeep them out of it, and then show them that what we do is way more profitable than what they're doing, and force a change that way.
And even when Zach tried to do it in a mainstream way, tried to get his comic book into shops and use a mainstream publisher, they nixed that as well. So what are we left with? You know, we're left with, you know, doing it ourselves, taking it directly to the people.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, they are gatekeeping us out. They're gatekeeping ComicsGaters out. If you oppose them, they want to ruin your life. It's not even a joke. It's not fun. None of this was fun for anybody who was participating in it. These people really sought to destroy my life. They sought to destroy John Malin's life. They called John Malin alt-right. They did a whole article about how we know John Malin at this point. The reason why we know.
Yeah, Bleeding Cool fabricated an entire mythology about me being influenced by an alt-right website to sneak in a banner for Dark City, the old sci-fi movie. But I snuck in an Easter egg for Dark City because the plot of the story was Pleasant Hill, which was very similar to what happened in Dark City. And so Bleeding Cool, they wanted to paint this negative picture about me so bad. They found an article about Dark City that didn't even exist when I drew the Easter egg or when the book was published. after the book came out into people's hands, I think several months later, this article about Dark City popped up. But that fact did not, bother Bleeding Cool. They still made this article and said that because of this article, I am signaling to the alt-right.
Yeah. So when Rich Johnston did that article on me a while back, I was emailing him back and forth, and I was telling him the truth, and I was asking him to verify like his sources, and he wasn't. So I don't think they even have an investment in the truth. I don't think they even care.
No, I mean, again, yeah, it just happened to Art recently. It's like any of these guys who open their mouths and say that they align with ComicsGate. Look at what happened to Donald DeLay.
Let me say, like, the irony of the whole thing is that Rich also came to me after some of the ComicsGate people and different people that saw the article and saw my YouTube show. He came to me and said, like, are you instructing these people to come at me? They're saying that, I should be fired and this, that, and the other thing because I said this. And I said, well, I have no control over that. I didn't have anything to do with this. And if you want to, just clear the air. Just tell them your sources. Just come clean, because if anybody doesn't know, it was about like me being fired from DC or Marvel Comics. And then they said that DC had pretty much hired me. Ethan, this is ridiculous. They hired me to woo Dave Finch and Mark Bagley over to DC Comics. This kind of money doesn't even exist. The amount of money it would cost to get me to do this would be astronomical. I was
100 billion. 100 billion.
100
billion.
That's about.
Everyone has a price, Art.
I would do it.
Don't go down that road.
To have sex with what was it, George Lucas on your stream, John, the other day.
I would do it for free. I would do it for any amount of money. The point is, like, not George Lucas. Wait a second. Back up here.
Gotcha.
I mean, what Art's talking about, like the idea that DC pays people or would pay Art to try to woo Dave Finch over from Marvel to DC. If DC or Marvel wanted to pay me to convince other people to come work for them, I'd take a paycheck for that. That doesn't bother me one bit. A company loyalty, like that kind of company loyalty would prevent me from trying to talk one of my friends into accepting a better situation for himself. That's bullshit. I'm more interested in my friend's well-being than I am about Marvel or DC. The point is that, like,
which it did not happen.
DC doesn't do this. There's no paycheck being, written for Art T. Barrett to convince anybody to do anything. Rich
not only threw me under the bus, but he also pointed fingers at DC Comics. This is against the law. These are laws that are.
That's really irresponsible of them.
Yeah. So
it's always off the record sources too. That's pretty much what they said, right, Art?
Right, because you can't verify it. And then they hide behind some kind of integrity. Like, I have journalistic integrity, so I'm not going to tell who said this. But the thing is, you're not really a journalist, and also you have no integrity. So what does it matter? The reason they don't do it is because it's complete fabrication. It has nothing to do with the truth.
Well, and it's easy for people to manipulate them too if they're saying they're off the record, because then they have no. There's no way that they can get in trouble, because no one can call them if it's, or there's no way to cross-reference what's actually going on either.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a terrible situation to be in, because someone's pointing the finger at you and you never necessarily know who that person is. Right.
And that person just doesn't exist, because the only people that truly know the story are the CB from Marvel and David Bogart from Marvel, and then the two guys that I was supposedly wooing, which is Dave Finch and Mark Bagley. So it would have had to have been one of those four guys, plain out. Right. It had to have been one of those four guys. And I can honestly say they wouldn't say anything. They wouldn't tell this story.
Why would be cool? How would it benefit them to be involved in some garbage like that? It wouldn't.
It doesn't. Yeah. And most of them have went on and left Marvel since that, that happened. to work for DC. So Dave Finch is still at DC, you know, and Mark Bagley left Marvel to work at DC. As a matter of fact, I worked with Mark Bagley when he did come over to DC. We did that Trinity series together.
How much did they pay you to bring him over?
No,
but you know, something like
my sources. Yeah.
Art, do you think the reporter is actually talking to somebody though? Do you think the reporter is talking to someone that's maybe not Adam, on the up and up?
Do you know where stuff like this comes from, Dr. Skullcrusher?
Skullcrusher.
So some anonymous troll who reaches out to them and says, "Oh, I have an amazing story for you. Let me tell you about how Art we offered Art $1 billion to lure people away from DC.
No, not even. It's just
the money.
It's just rumors. People talk shit. They talk rumors, and
sooner or later, the journalist is supposed to verify those rumors before they actually write a story.
Yeah, but it's sort of like it's like a desert. It's a dead zone. It's just Rich Johnston. That's just it. It's just that guy, and it doesn't matter because it's like he's the last man on a sinking ship. So it doesn't matter what he says or not. Right. Sean Gordon Murphy told Rich Johnson, "Don't cover me." That's what he said. That Rich Johnson put out an article about something with Sean Gordon Murphy, and Sean Gordon Murphy on Twitter quote tweeted it, and he said,
"Don't cover me.
told you to stop covering me. Like I told you." There wasn't Sean Gordon Murphy's last Batman book like the highest selling book that year. Yeah. Like, so he's the top guy in the mainstream comics, and he's telling the last journalist to fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, they doesn't want to cover him because he's just going to make up shit, right? He's just going to lie.
Right.
He's just
well, here's the thing, though, is, you know, I do believe CBR echoed that story that Rich Johnston did on me. They never reached out to me either. Also, when we were doing Jawbreakers, they, in their message boards, they banned any message of the book, and I do believe the creative team as well. So it's not just a bleeding cool thing. I mean, this stuff is going through. It's a system protecting itself.
But don't the journalists have something to lose?
None of them are journalists.
Okay, well, the typist of the articles, let's call them. Don't these people have something to lose? Like, don't they want to at least be able to point to somebody and say, "This was my source, and it turned out my source was bogus"? Mm-hmm. Like, are they just pulling this stuff out of thin air? Are they just type? Oh yeah.
In my case, yeah, it was pulled out of thin air. They had an agenda we fabricated. I proved it. I made a video about it, about how the date the article was published and when my book was published.
That's just brazen corruption, though. To actually type anonymous source and be thinking, "Oh, that's me. I'm the anonymous source."
Activist propaganda.
100%. You know, John, they made it up for John. I think Rich Johnson knows better. See, that's what's surprising about the RT Bear thing. Like, I know Rich Johnson knows better than to believe that DC Comics would ever pay people to do gay ops for them. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So why would he put that story out there? Well, I don't know, just to hurt Art, just to kind of demonize Art. Also take a shot at Dan DiDio's DC Comics, which Dan DiDio which Rich Johnson has been trying to destroy for decades now. All of those things together would be why they would do that. It's utterly pointless. But you know, the whole thing is the mainstream comic book industry is closed off. It's not going to change. They don't care if they make money. These nitwits think that the movie industry is going to keep the comic book industry afloat, and it's just not.
It doesn't really translate over. It hasn't for decades. Everybody thought that Batman Tim Burton movie was going to bring in all kinds of sales, and it really didn't. You know, so it doesn't really cross over. I wish it did, but it doesn't.
Wasn't Jimmy Palmiotti like asking celebrities to take photos with comics? He thought that was kind of boost sales. Like,
endorsements.
That's not it.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a sad thing. It's like people used to say that when comics were dying. It was just like, hey, if only people knew about, these characters. Maybe it's just superheroes that aren't selling very well. And maybe we should do comics more about golf and things like romance and Westerns like they used to do. And then the Spider-Man movie came out and it was a big, gigantic hit. And everybody together all went, oh, no, the general public loves superheroes. They just don't want comic books. They just don't want our comic books. And that was pretty alarming. And even still, like the lesson hasn't been it hasn't really been gathered by certain people within the comic book industry, where it's just like, hey, if only if only we can get celebrities to mass market. If we can just get celebrities in our comics, then maybe more people will buy them. It's just not true.
Yeah,
you can. Dean Cain isn't going to sell your comic book for you.
Well, you can go back in time, like I remember reading an Entertainment Weekly magazine article, and this is a while back. But they did an interview with Mark Waid, and Mark Waid at one point, I don't know if he still does, but he has mainstream pull. Like he can get articles written on him and talk about the comics industry, and in it, he wasn't talking about how amazing comics were and how cool they are and one of a kind of entertainment they are. He was talking about, he was using terms like tights and capes. You know this, Ethan. Like even Joe Quesada uses the derogatory, like, oh, tights and capes. And then he was talking about Hollywood, as how Hollywood's learned that tights and capes really doesn't translate over and stuff like this. And it's like, no, don't demean what we do. Don't like
that's
that.
comic.
Right. It's counterproductive. Like rock stars go like, yeah, the fans are the best. You guys are the best. We rock. We all rock. We're doing this together. And that's what ComicsGate is. It's like, we're all doing this together, man. We're making comic books. We're having fun. We're entertaining people. I don't talk bad. I don't talk ill of what I do or any of your other books or any of the books. But yet these guys, to try to be cool with Hollywood, they walk that line and they're like, yeah, tights and capes. And I think even in that article, it was such scar tissue, man. I still remember he said something like, most of the people doing comics are living in their or read comics, live in their basement, in their parents' basements and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, this is your fan base. You're talking about your fan base in this kind of way. That's horrible, man. And the reason he's doing it is because he's trying to score points with Hollywood. And Joe Quesada would talk in the same with the same terminology. And I always thought, this is why comics don't sell.
Right.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're gonna knock comics, how is anybody gonna think it's cool if you don't even think it's cool?
Basement dwellers have a lot of disposable income, man. Don't shit on the basement dwellers. Are you kidding? You know how much money you save living at home?
The greatness of comics is things like, with great power comes great responsibility. And we all think about that in the back of our minds sometimes. That idea came from Spider-Man. So it's like there are things that have gone into culture, into Western civilization, and actually throughout the world, that are ideas that were started by these aspirational heroes in comics. And that's that's the greatness of comics. That's something that Mark Waid or Quesada or Palmiano, whomever else, when you're speaking about comics, you can speak with it with reverence and acknowledge like what it's contributed. And at the same time, too, as creators, you focus on making those next great comics. That's what ComicsGate is to me, anyway.
Right.
Well, Joey Q really doesn't care about comics. You see, he got a TV show. He has got Disney Plus show. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does care about comics, but I think that he's secure. He doesn't care about what kind of comics he's making anymore. And I think that when you're around that crowd enough, I think it poisons you. You start to say, oh, middle-aged white men. Let's try to get that young, hip, more women of color, more trans, more gays. That's what you want. That's the audience that makes you feel good about yourself.
I think he cares a lot more about the TV stuff, man. He was way into the Daredevil stuff. He leads the charge on that Save Daredevil show.
Well, that was his job. I mean, he was the
and now the Disney Plus show where it's like him him being like a TV chef or something like with comics.
Oh, is he doing that?
Yeah, he has some Disney Plus show where he like goes around to other creative businesses and asks them how they do it.
Oh my gosh,
it's ridiculous. Let me go around and let's talk about the books that we have here, because we actually do kind of care about comics. That's what we're doing. Carla Rose Deathsworn book 1 right now. Solar vampires. These guys actually they don't suck blood. They persist. They live on solar energy. And drain entire stars. which is look at this. You're really, really close to 33,000.
Whoa.
Give the quick.
ComicGate is dead, guys. Don't stop it. It's supposed to be dead. You're gonna make fools of people. Don't back this book.
The solar vampires don't die.
They do. Oh, there's a bunch of them dying in this book, dude.
Spending money to make fools of people, that's like my favorite thing to do.
That's a side effect. That's like a side benefit of ComicsGate. It's like people are like, well, did you buy this book to, because it's about solar vampires, it's kick-ass, or did you buy it to own SJWs? And it's like, why not both?
Yeah, why can't it be both?
Exactly. Free bonus.
That's a win-win.
Hey, dude, the SJWs that fucking came down on me, they loved my book, man. They're into good comics. They just don't like you. If they don't like you, they will fucking sell you out, man. They have no problem putting a gun to the back of your head if they just figure out that you don't agree with them. They don't care. So I'm all for fucking buying the screw over those people because they don't care, man. Like, at least so what if you don't necessarily care about this book? Those people might care about the book, but they'll go after the person for nothing, so it doesn't matter for them. Like,
that's actually true. Like, they'll go after people who they previously showed great respect to and may still respect, like Frank Miller, and they'll beat him back into line again. Like Frank Miller coming out and saying, you know what, fuck terrorism. And then them being like, what did you say? What? And beat him up and knock his nose sideways. Until he is a social justice warrior again, and suddenly he is a mewling little puppy right now. I'm so sorry about the things that I said about terrorism in the early 2000s. I was wrong. No, you weren't wrong.
Yeah.
You weren't wrong. Don't be afraid of these people. That's what I mean. Like, being in Hollywood poisons you. You're around these people. This is what starts to sound normal to you instead of what's actually your gut instinct, your well thought out position. That comes from your own innate sense of survival. I mean, these people want to make you counter it to it, all of that.
Well, think about it. Hollywood pretty much has an exclusive on normalizing bad behavior,
Yeah, well, that's true. We're finding out more and more about that craziness. These people are inside out morality. And, that's what happens if you're there. You need to appease them. You need to appease these people at all times. In order to keep your job and to have a future. You don't need to do that with ComicsGate. You can do whatever you want to do here. Believe what you want to believe. Be yourself. We're only about selling comics. We don't care what you believe. We don't want to hear what you believe, frankly. That's the other part of it. We don't want to know what you believe. We only want good comics. If you're a creator, if you're a customer, you can say and believe whatever you want. But creators, we don't care. Just do good stuff. So you're really, really close to 33,000. I love this book. Zach loves this book. He's been promoting it, and I think he backed it himself. Even though Micah Curtis left, he abandoned the stream, and I don't know where he went and why he won't come back. I'm just kidding. Mike is popping.
In the side chat, he's yelling, "I didn't abandon."
I know he didn't. Micah is driving me nuts right now because the stream can only hold 6 people, and Micah is in the waiting room. And if
you want to kick me, I don't have a book.
No. I want you in here because it's important. But people when you pop in and pop out, it goes bing, 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 bing in my ears, and Micah keeps coming in and coming out again, and it's incredibly distracting. But Angle, so I'm teasing him. Angle
he's ringing the doorbell.
Essentially, yeah, he's like a Mormon missionary. Hello, I got the good news from Micah Curtis here, and why sleeves may not be for you.
It's not that.
Anglewood #1, a hero born in blood. Support Micah Curtis's campaign. The links, by the way, the links in the description for all of these books, but definitely support this one. RT Bear's amazing chrono mechanics. RT Bear, what's chrono mechanics about?
Chrono Mechanics is about time repairmen. It's a cosmic time travel tale about time traveling repairmen. And so in this story, time is literally a big machine. It's a nuts and bolts clockwork cosmic machine that was built in the very fabric of the universe when it was formed. So as being an ancient machine, an old machine, it breaks down a lot. So there's a company called Chrono Incorporated that hires teams of repairmen to go out and fix the big machine. So this story focuses on Team 9.2 of Sector 7, which is the 4 characters you see here. And the story proper that we tell is that they lost a member. So they lost a valuable member of the team that's irreplaceable.
I thought you meant like member, like Bobby or something.
Their member got replaced. Yeah. No, that's Doug. That's the guy in the center with the guitar. So he doesn't fit the MO to be a chrono mechanic at all. So the story is, how does this guy, this 20th century slacker, basically rock star, fit into a team of knuckle busting time repairmen that have a ton of integrity and do great work? So that's basically what the story is about. And we are we're under 1,000 away from the next stretch goal, which is 6 additional pages. So that's pretty much Chrono Mechanics in a nutshell.
Excellent. Make sure to back Chrono Mechanics. Links in the description. There it goes again. College of the Dead comic book. College of the Dead comic book by Adam Post is also still available. This is already, if you want one of these, he'll ship it to you right now. And you've already picked up a few more backers since you came on here.
Awesome. Bing, bang, boom. One of the things that I really like about College of the Dead is, well, first of all, zombie apocalypse world. You will absolutely feel like you're in a zombie apocalypse movie. It's very cool, very straight up. But there's an ash can that I made of this. That's a 100-page book that has the full script by Stefan Petruca and all the layouts by the artist Javier Aranda. So you get to actually see how the book was made. That's what at the featured tier. And people really like that book, and I'm really glad that they do, because it's actually very straightforward. It's educational. I've not seen people do that before, and I kind of don't know why. But full script, full layouts, so you can see how the book is made in with the sketchbook. And of course, the book is already done. It's 140 pages.
And it's great. I have it. I could go get it. You know what? In between, at some point, I'm going to go get it and show it, because I mean, people don't understand. There's no wait for this. If you back College of the Dead right now, it's a beautiful, beautifully produced comic. It's a zombie story. It's a lot of fun. Beautiful artwork, great story. It's ready to go. You're going to get it. No wait. So I don't see why we can't get this to 5 figures finally. Let's get this to 10,000 for Adam Post, who is what can I tell you? I love listening to Adam Post's theories on ComicsGate. Great ideas. Great member of the community. Great member of the cult. Great cult member.
Thank you, man.
Elder of the cult.
Elder of the cult. Absolutely. Well, the potential for ComicsGate is unlimited as long as we keep taking care of the fans and we keep communicating with people and letting people know, and also help each other out. And that's the thing you guys don't see behind the scenes. Art and I, we'll talk about ideas about like page count and format and printers. And other guys, Eric Weathers is suggesting his trading card printer to me for a future thing. And then Ethan sometimes shows us some work in progress stuff. We get to give him feedback. This is like having a huge, passionate, well-funded, giant organization. But we're all independent, but we all support each other. So yeah. ComicsGate is the future. And no wonder they're going after you, Art. No wonder they're trying to demonize you, because somebody like Art Tiber joining up with ComicsGate, think of the potential.
Yeah, I know. When Art Tiber came over here, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe he was ComicsGate. It was awesome. Really, really glad he's here. And, all talented professionals should definitely come over here and join this movement. Make us more strong, make us stronger. This is going to be your opportunity to actually hold on to something, own something that's profitable.
Yes.
We're building something here that's not just a little cottage industry. We're actually building and sustaining a market of readers, fans, and customers who will consider buying your book.
And there's a lot of professionals right now that support me, but they don't support me openly because they're a little intimidated because they don't know what the mainstream will do to them. So they're afraid of the backlash, but they're definitely paying attention and they would like to do what we're doing. They just, for whatever reason, are hesitant because, I mean, it's a hard decision to make, to come over and to do what your dream is and what you really want to do, but at the same time possibly be burning bridges with the mainstream.
How lame is that it's about burning bridges? You know, it's like, just come over here and make money and make comics.
Right.
But it's not even the mainstream, man. When I got into indie comics, like when I kind of got old enough to start actually going to cons and selling my little books, I thought this is what it was. You know, I thought this is what it was going to be. I thought I was going to meet some awesome peers, and like everything Adam said, it's 100% that. And like now that I'm over here and we're in ComicsGate, and it's like I'm looking at the people who I was making comics with who won't even talk to me, won't even fucking look at me anymore. And I'm like, you guys don't know what you're missing out. Like, this is what we wanted. This is what we were all looking for when we went to indie comics. Like, this is it.
Yeah, so, I'll be 50 this year. I published my first book like 35 years ago, and I've been publishing indie comics on and off for the last, 30, 35 years. There's never been a collection of people like the ComicsGate people before, who are all passionate. Everybody's trying to be successful, and the only competition we have is healthy competition, but we love to see what's possible. We love to see the #1 crowdfunded book in the world is Ethan's ComicsGate book, is Cyber Frog. And if you haven't gotten it yet, you're crazy. You can still get it. And there's Cyber Frog that you can figure out how to get it. Get it on Indiegogo. But in any event,
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's gigantical. But the whole point is, like, this is where it's at. I mean, you know, as a business, ComicsGate is doing, I don't know what the numbers are. I haven't added them all up, but it's well over 1 million.
Well, it's like 5 million at this point. ComicsGate. You know, we 1% of the market share of the entire comic book industry is within our grasp. We can do it. I mean, that's what's great about it. If ComicsGaters make up 1% of the comic book industry's market share, that is substantial. We could do that in 2020.
I'll tell you right now, I would guarantee you we are more than 1%, because what's the gross sales?
It's like I don't know. DC alone makes 360 million. So I'm not sure, but we're not there yet, but we could be there if we continue to grow. 1% is a lot of money. 1% is like, is it Dark Horse?
Wait, no. DC is selling $300 million worth of comics to shops.
That's what they're making every year. Yeah, $360 million a year.
Gross revenue. Okay. Yeah, I'll start to look at numbers again. I haven't looked in a while, because we were almost at 1% back in the day but it was all smaller industry at the time, I guess, early 90s or something.
As they shrink and we grow, we will get there, and that's going to be a thing.
Absolutely. And there's opportunity at every level. Just don't come in thinking you're going to make $1 million right away. You know, this is not my biggest selling book that I've ever done. Self-publishing. This was a book that I did to get back into comics publishing. And there's a lot of us that are getting back into comics publishing from crowdfunding, but nobody benefits like the people in ComicsGate. We all benefit much more because we all help each other, and we all find a way to be an expert in our little niche, and then we can help each other with each other's niches and stuff. We all support each other.
Yes. Hey, Ethan, can you scroll up just a bit and see the next piece of artwork that's on the Indiegogo page? No, it's this one.
Yeah.
Right there. That is my favorite image from your book there, Adam. That thing is so awesome. I told you before, if this was a movie poster, they would pack the house, man.
Yeah, I agree. Whoever drew this for you earned their money. This is phenomenal.
It's funny, and it's grotesque, and it's horrific at the same time, man. It's so many different things going on here, and it's beautifully.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done all the art on College of the Dead except one cover that Narwhal did that we're still figuring out where to use. But yeah, that's they did it. Look, the creative team is fantastic, and my job is I come up with the idea for College of the Dead. I collaborate when it's being written. I collaborate with the artist, and I'm just kind of like the producer of my passion and idea, just to make sure it all comes together and comes together great. But working with talent, you just give everybody the opportunity to do something and put it together, make the sandbox, create a great book. And I've been so fortunate to work with so many people, but that's why I keep telling the ComicsGate guys, you guys don't even understand how fantastic your books are, especially the books that are first books. Cyberfrog as a first self-published comic is outrageous. It's incredibly good. But even if it's not just as a first effort, but like Death Sworn is an amazing looking book. Your book art, you've done some other stuff before too. And you're a pro. But just to see the books, Englewood is a great looking book. To see the books that people are doing as a first self-published book, it's outrageous. It's incredible. There it is. I told you Cyberfrog's going to do good.
Yeah. I got the Cyberfrog line art variants. This is the same situation as College of the Dead, by the way. If you buy a Cyberfrog line art variant today, they're going to ship by Wednesday. So this is a good time to get a hold of those.
And black and white art on there, beautiful.
Yeah, they look nice. I mean, they really do. 74,000 on that we just passed that yesterday.
And Ethan, those are limited to 1,500 copies each, right?
Yeah. We still got plenty of them though. I mean, let's see, the 205 plus 404. So I mean, we've sold about 600.
Very cool.
So we've still got plenty of those. If you want one, now's the time to get one. Graveyard Shift.
Yeah. Breaking all kinds of records. Historic.
My favorite thing to talk about is Graveyard Shift Volume 2, the Andrew Huerta cover.
Yeah, Universal Monsters, if they were the X-Men, is the tagline for it. Basically, murdered scientists put into their own experiments, regenerate, end up getting regeneration powers, and come back to kill the guy that put them in it. So that's the gist of it. But he happens to be years later, he becomes the president of the United States. So they get branded as terrorists as a defensive measure. And so whatever, they do what they can.
And John, you were working. I was going to say, I'm just amazed that John was able to publish this. It's fantastic because John spent years kind of working on the original comic, right? John, you really didn't have an opportunity to publish it.
The concept, yeah. So we every time I got started on it, I kept getting hired. So that would put the kibosh on it. But right before I was hired by Marvel this last time where I did 2 or 3 years there, I had finished the first 2 issues, which became volume 1. And then the book had to go on pause again while I worked for Marvel.
Sure.
And then when I left, that was my plan, was to just continue Graveyard Shift and at least finish up the next 2 issues, which is volume 2.
And was this your first creator-owned book?
Yeah. Yep. So we started developing this in 2010.
It's so cool that this is your passion, and here it is.
Yeah. Well, let me take a quick side road here because Nerdrotic is here. Gary from Nerdrotic, we love him. He's actually got the figures here, and this is correct. So 1.95 billion. That's how much the comic book industry earned in 2018.
Nice.
He says without Scholastic, $5. Okay. That's probably true. I think that's how he meant that. But okay, so if DC's making 360 million, yeah, I believe that the overall figure is 1.
Yep.
So what do we got to do? We got to get to 10 million. Is that 1% of a billion, or am I stupid?
Well, 10% would be about 100 million, and 1% would be 10 million. 10 million's fine, and we can do that.
We can do $10 million, can't we?
We can do that.
It's doable.
We're halfway there. So yeah, absolutely.
That's 1% of the market. It's not outrageous. The idea of being 1% of the entire comic book market share, ComicsGate books, is within our grasp. And there's no reason why we shouldn't pursue that vigorously and say, this is where, look at this. $10 million is coming in, is going in the pockets of ComicsGaters. That's where
we're doing it with like fans. Like, we're bringing the people in. They're helping create this. You know what I mean? Like, we're not just doing it alone. We're inspiring people, other artists, and also people to come in and enjoy this entertainment. And that's amazing, man, to build something from the ground up like this. This is nothing short of amazing.
Well, real quick, I got to bow out, so I'll let Micah get back in here. But thanks, Ethan, for having me on. Good to talk to all you guys, Art and Adam and Carl and Adam.
Take care.
Great to see you, man.
All right, have a great night, guys, and thanks. Bye.
Everyone back Graveyard Shift Volume 2 as well. Make sure. Literature Devil, welcome in. Literature Devil waiting longer than Mike Curtis.
Hello, everyone.
It's good to see you, Lit Dev. I miss you, my friend. Nice to have you here.
I've just been really busy. I couldn't even. It's really hard to even work on YouTube these days. If anyone doesn't know, working on a comic is a lot of hard work, a lot of stress.
Yeah, it is. People don't understand the amount of work that goes into actually producing a comic book. It's a lot of work, an awful lot of work. How's it going? How's the whole thing going?
Oh, it's going pretty well now. I mean, we've got some the first comic, Lady Midnight, we got a little bit behind on it because we made some artistic changes, but the artistic changes made it way better. So it went from kind of a grayscale black and white to more of a Sin City-esque sort of look, where it's just black and white with the negative colors. And looks more dynamic, looks way better. The final pages, I think, are being done right now with the lettering and everything. So it should be out pretty soon.
Dr. Alpha.
So Dr. Alpha, the Lady Midnight's Christmas special. We're planning on it being released at Christmas, but it still will be released a little bit after Christmas, a little bit.
I love that laugh. God damn, I love Lit Dev. He's always so evilly delighted. It's wonderful. Yeah, so I want to go back and just point out John Malin's Graveyard Shift Volume 2 variant, done completely out of spite from Mike S. Miller and Edwin. And why did this happen? Because Edwin he did a whole list. Edwin has figured out a way to prove that we're not as great as we think we are. Like I've reorganized the list of all these Indiegogo campaigns by the creator's area code, and that makes according to the zip code of John Malin and Ethan Van Sciver, they are less on the list than this guy and this guy. So in any case, John Malin decided just to mess with them and put up a whole new campaign, which rocketed his whole Graveyard Shift Volume 2 campaign past $200,000. Which is great. What is the percentage of $200,000? Is what percent of 10 million?
All the math people on the panel.
I mean, that's a good. I mean, we don't have a lot of mathematicians here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what? I don't. 0.08751%.
Yeah. Oh, Nerdrotic, by the way. Okay, hold on a second. But my point is that John Malin did a great thing. He got us that much closer to that $10 million spot that we want to be. In 2020, that's what we're going for. $10 million. That's what we're trying to do. Gary says, cheers, EVS. By the way, the Frog book was spectacular. Came right on time when it needed to. Oh, Gary, thank you. That's very kind. That's one way to put it, I guess.
I love Gary's station, man. I just got turned on to it a couple of months ago, and I'm hooked now. I'm addicted.
Tinfoil Oracle says that it's 2%.
It is 2%. Yep.
Okay, outstanding. Now, if everybody could just do 2%,
just 50 of us. Yep.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that 10 million part. Adam, I'm counting on you. Adam Post, I'm counting on you. Skull Crusher, Carl, RT Bear, Lit Dev, I'm counting on you.
We're gonna get it done.
Dr. Alpha actually recently Dr. Alpha went past Deadbeats. We passed Deadbeats, destroyed them and wrecked them completely. It was fantastic. I released, in fact, a one-page comic celebrating the event, drawn by Peter Gilmore.
Oh wow!
So if you want to check out the Dr. Alpha Indiegogo page, I posted it on there in an update, so anyone can look at it. And it has all your favorite characters in there, especially a specific blue-haired land whale.
So, getting past Deadbeats now is like the thing to do. Like people Deadbeats, for those who don't know, is a collaborative effort. How many SJWs does it take to screw in a light bulb? How many SJWs does it take to screw up a comic book? 42 is 40 the
plus
number.
40 plus creators. So
yeah,
I took down 40 plus super mega stars of the comic book industry, apparently.
Yeah, you did, including Renfamous, and that's the one that we really cared about. Renfamous was excited about getting to be in a comic book. And yeah, she launched her book, Deadbeats. I think it made 33,000. Was that what it was?
Around 33,800.
Yeah, I'm looking at here. Yeah, 33,877.
Oh, then we got to get Chrono Mechanics well above 30. Then
we all gotta get that, man. That's
the magic number.
It's just a stream. This is the Beat Deadbeats stream.
You have to beat Deadbeats. You have to beat Deadbeats. Also, Peter Gilmore made a new shirt for Dr. Alpha to wear that reads "Who beats the Deadbeats?" And people said, you should sell that shirt. I think about doing that.
That's cool.
It's like the watch.
All right, I'm going to read these super chats. Super chats are piling up, and thank you guys for sending them. A lot of people want to participate with this stream. A Brown CBR, thanks for joining, becoming a new member. Ronnie Schreiber says, hit the PO box yet? It may have. I haven't been. I didn't get to go today. I'll go tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday, right? Yeah. Yes. I'll go tomorrow before noon. Bugnish Bachwinkle says, warts and all campaign date, and then Doug sucks anus. Warts and all campaign date will be sometime next week. I just want to get all the images for the campaign ready. We can spend the 2 months that the campaign runs assembling the book and get it out to you by the end of the summertime. So probably next week. Mr. X Alliance says, I predict ComicsGate will do great things in 2020. I do too. $10 million. $10 million. Adam Opatrony says, I want Death Sworn as a video game as well.
I've been thinking about that, man. I like exploring those things, so I always think about ideas for stuff like that.
Yeah, it seems like, the thing is, like, if it were to become a video game, it would all go into Carl's pocket because he owns it. It's not like he gave it away to some big corporation. Carl would be rich.
Do you think that I'll have to do like later on, like 30 years down the line after I sold my rights away, I'll have to do like dead revenge sworn, and then I'm doing Indiegogo for that, and then I'll win the rights back to.
Don't go down that path. That is a dirty.
No, that's a bad idea.
Yeah. Don't just hang on to your rights, and let this stuff happen. If you want to sell your if you want to sell Death Sworn to some big corporation, it's yours to do so. Just make sure you get some money for it, and don't let them prey on your guilt.
Yeah, Carl, we don't want to lose you to Hollywood, Carl. We like you here.
I do want to lose them to Hollywood.
Hoverboards, though.
I don't care. In the sense that he starts, talking derogatory about comic books and.
Oh yeah,
no, dude. You know what? Like that's like video games is sort of cool, but fuck Hollywood, man. Like I'm in here for comics. I fucking love comics. I can pull old comics off the shelf here that I've been making since I was a kid. Like I'm 100% here for fucking comics, man.
Me too. I don't want to make movies, but I'll tell you this: if Hollywood comes knocking and wants to give me money to make a Cyberpunk movie, yeah, we're gonna do that. And I hope the same thing with Death Sworn.
I think as a failed Hollywood screenwriter, I totally agree.
I think that'd be an excellent move. We need to infiltrate someone from ComicsGate into the Hollywood sphere.
Oh, that's going to drive
would be amazing.
Crazy. People are.
It will happen. Trust me.
I mean, every time we do that, every time we infiltrate the mainstream, it drives people absolutely crazy. It drives the SJWs nuts. And I'm gonna show in a few minutes. I'm gonna show the second Jay Lee cover for Wrecked Planet.
Cool.
They are so pissed about this. I've heard secondhand, like people are bothering Jay Lee about it. People are, bothering all kinds of people who are involved in procuring this for me, helping make this deal happen. You're helping ComicsGate to grow. That's right. We're helping ComicsGate to grow. Jay Lee's cover is a big part of that. I don't want to always use mainstream talent. I'd rather use ComicsGate talent, but it is fun to kind of, every now and then, like we can get whatever we want, guys. So we're going to show that. Let me get back to super chats here. Carl is back. Oh my fecking God, says Cecil Christmas Pass. Passion for Drawing says, if you have time, take a look at Doom Fate. Thanks. I'm going to bring ComicsGate Live back. This feels pretty good. If I bring back ComicsGate Live, I can bring Passion for Drawing on. We can do more books like this. Cider Hype says, time to crank up ComicsGate Tube. Time to crank up CG Tube up to 20 out of a possible 5. Posted a 1-minute promo for the Hype Train on my Twitter, at Cider Hype. Hashtag New Age of Creation. Hashtag Hype Station. So that's Cider Hype's new comic, it sounds like. David Bowser says, hey, Caesar, how do I get my Fez? We'll sell them through. Let me ask Crypto Fashion if they can make Fez.
Yes.
We'll just go straight to crypto. Charlie's London says, 1/2 Turkish. I'll get you a deal on an order of Fezes. Oh, nice. All right. So we'll hook Charlie's London up to Crypto Fashion. We'll make Fezes. Raging Golden Eagles here. He says, if the SJWs are mad at some lack of representation, they can make their own. We'll create what we want. If they don't like it, they can leave. Daniel Parker says, ComicsGate is like the Protestant Reformation. Martin Luther tried to reform the Catholic Church only to start a new Christian church. I've heard that before. I've heard us compared to that. Charlie's London says, no. Charlie's London says, rubbish franchises destroyed original Star Wars. Only good one left is the Harry Potter franchise. How long before Disney wants its grubby hands all over that?
But they've already messed that up.
A lot of people who fucking cares about Harry Potter.
They've already messed that thing up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like Harry Potter's already done. Like they already made movies. I'm not sure they could do much more with it. Like Disney doesn't want it.
Fantastic Beasts is connected to the universe, and they're already messing that up. So
until very recently, Harry Potter was actually a sacred cow to these SJW NPC types. This is the only that they quoted from Harry Potter like a Bible. So I'm not really sure if they would want to mess that up, because all these people, they pretend to be fans of things, and it's usually things they hate or want to destroy or change to suit their needs, kind of like a virus or something. But Harry Potter was something they actually legitimately like. These people are fake Star Wars fans. They just pretend to like Star Wars so that they can influence the industry, but they're actually fans of Harry Potter. So it's a little different there.
But they were canceling J.K. Rowling like a week ago.
Yeah, because she came out and did something that maybe have mildly, at a stretch, insulted all trans people somehow.
Yeah, turf.
Yeah, they call her a turf. Yeah,
it's not hard to insult or trigger those people.
The alphabet people, as one brilliant comedian once said.
Yeah,
and what they hear that they'll eat their own.
Well, I mean, look, she stepped out of line with the orthodoxy, and so they had to punish her. And I'm sure she's going to reel herself right back in again, just like Frank Miller did.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
I keep going to the sad tale of Neil Adams the Wise, or what was that? Was that his name? Neil Adams.
Neil Adams. Yeah.
Yeah. He came out and said, "Well, I've been hearing that a lot of conservatives are being pushed out of the comic book industry," and then he immediately got whipped back into line, and he said he became an anti-Trump, anti-everything NPC. So that's
whipped his ass. Just kind of immediately said, "It's not right. That's not what the comic book industry should be." And they said, "Oh, yes, it is, Neil. You better shut up." And he went, "Oh, I investigated it thoroughly and found that this is not true."
5 minutes later, he investigated thoroughly.
It's okay. So funny.
Hey, that's an awfully nice. They basically said that's an awfully nice career you have there, Neil Adams. Would be a shame if something happened to it.
He's had his ups and downs, so he doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, though. Alex Ochoa, thanks for $2. He says, this is for the Mormons. Let's see. Steps in Gold says, would you rather? Oh, I read that one. Micah Curtis says, I'm here. Comcast just sucks. Vasiljal Twin Wink says, I would love to see world and universe building among new characters eventually. Rival DC and Marvel. Keep up the good work, everyone. Yeah, we're talking about that. Mark C says, thanks for $10. 6 amazing artists who became legendary inkies. Sinnott, Giordano, Austin, Neary, Farmer, and T. Bear. Art's book should be at 100,000. Everyone needs to back it. Art, do you agree with that? I mean, I agree with it.
I do agree with that. Yeah, let's make a mark. Let's build that 10. What are we at? We're trying to get 10 million.
10 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that 1%. Yeah.
I don't know if we can get there though, because I heard of the grapevine that ComicsGate is dead.
Oh, it is. OG ComicsGate is dead.
OG
ComicsGate is dead. There's no reason for them to see that's what this stream is called. OG ComicsGate are the guys who don't believe that we should be marketing comics and doing our own industry. They believe that we just were sitting here yelling at Marvel and DC. That's what ComicsGate was. Marvel and DC told you all to fuck off. They called you Nazis. They told you to fuck off, and then they doubled down. They're not changing. OG ComicsGate, unless it evolves into doing something to counter the mainstream, you're dead. It's over with, and that's what we're doing.
And now there's real power because there's dollars and there's success behind it. So those things always get people to notice, you know, and those things are always more challenging.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see. I'm very happy to see ComicsGate pull as much money from DC and Marvel as possible. Every dollar ComicsGate pulls away from them is a victory. That's fantastic stuff. Makes me happy to see them lose money.
Well, imagine that $10 million, though.
Yeah, the way I look at it, though, it's like I kind of don't subscribe to that. Like, instead of there just being one pie, let's just make another pie. You know what I mean? Like I think that's probably part of the problem with the comics industry right now, is that there's only one pie and everybody keeps stealing pieces from that same pie. And so it just kind of jockeys back and forth. But I think what we're doing is that we're actually growing the industry as well. And that's way more successful. And it's way more, I think, looking forward into trying to build something that's more sustainable. I don't really like the idea of like there's only one pie. So the way I look at ComicsGate and what we're doing is we're just making another pie, maybe a better pie, maybe a more delicious pie. You know,
you need to stop talking about pies, Art.
You look at Ethan's face. Are you kidding? You know what you're doing here?
Art is
push him off the wagon.
There are plenty of pies. I'm like,
I think CG should be all about pies. It's all about pies.
If another pie goes missing, who will notice?
Who will notice?
From what I've seen, the ComicsGate community has been very, very friendly to each other. Everyone helps each other out. It's just friendly competition, just helping each other out. The industry from DC and Marvel, they're just hostile all the time, especially to each other, especially to fans. So they're not. We are drawing in the fans that they have cast off. But if they were to change, then it would be one big happy family. There's just because people are successful in one place doesn't mean they're going to be poor somewhere else. Everyone can succeed at once. But Marvel and DC have done their best. Have done their very best and have put more effort into doing this than they have into actually making comics. And what I mean is they've been putting so much effort into scaring off customers and whipping everyone into line that they're just pushing away money. They're pushing away business, which is bad because they are a business. But the ComicsGate exemplifies what it actually should be, as far as I've seen, is that everyone helps each other out. Everyone is friendly. It's just, if any competition exists, it's friendly competition. And that's what it should be. And that's how everyone can succeed at once. Not really so much the Marvel and DC method.
Aren't we lowering the barriers for entry for new customers too? Like bringing new people to the table? Just by the direct to customer market. Like the old model, you really had to stumble into a comic book store. Like now you can just be watching videos on YouTube and all of a sudden you're a comic book fan.
You come across ComicsGate because of everything else that's going on. You're watching videos about Star Wars and all this stuff, and then you find ComicsGate. It's great. I mean, that's ideally, you know, a lot of the people who are buying Cyberfrog Bloodhoney said, I haven't bought a comic book in 20 years, or this is the first comic book I've ever bought. And I shared it with my kids, and you know, we're back for Wrecked Planet. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Obviously, you know, peeling off some of the readership of the mainstream. Yeah, we want to do that too. But, you know, mostly we're trying to bring back the people that left because they left fairly recently. They're still out there looking for comics. They just weren't satisfied with the product that was being produced. So
I don't want to throw comic book stores under the bus, but I sometimes wonder if there's a little bit of a Netflix Blockbuster dynamic going here as well. Like dealing directly with the customer is kind of a Netflix model, and going to the comic book store is kind of a Blockbuster model. Am I wrong about that?
And we're hitting a world market. We're hitting a world market, not a regional market.
Yeah. So how did that Netflix Blockbuster thing turn out? Let me look up. let me look on the internet here and see how that went. Oh, whoa. So maybe, I mean, I'd rather be Netflix in this scenario all the way.
Yeah, inevitably, like the mainstream comic book industry's promotion is so insular, and they themselves, I was talking to there's a kind of anti-ComicsGater, like somebody who's really been a pill lately, or not lately, but the entire time that we were ComicsGate. A guy named Gratuitous Sacks. You might know him as 100 Hairs. He's on Twitter, and he finally just gave in yesterday. It was actually really nice. He just said, "Look, I'm just getting tired." He's like, "Yeah, you're getting tired of us winning. We're not getting tired of us winning. We're here to find success on our own terms, and I don't know what your problem is." And he finally kind of agreed. And I went and looked at his page, and he's like promoting the Drink and Draw show, and it had Joe Quesada, it had like all of the big names getting together and drawing. Doing a drawing contest, and the drawings were fabulous. I mean, they're fantastic. But the problem is that nobody watches that show because those guys are not allowed to express any personality. No views, nothing like that whatsoever. Their job is, on that show, they are bland because they're afraid. Everybody is terrified.
Then you take a beautiful animal like Cecil putting out Cash Grab in January. Mm-hmm. That book is going to make new records. Everybody loves Cecil.
Yeah, everybody loves Cecil. I think Cecil's book is going to do way better than people are even anticipating.
Just talking about the opposite of a bland personality. That's Cecil. The guy is exponential personality.
I think that's going to sell comics. It's going to be fun. So that's the thing. I think that we're sitting here engaging people, being personalities, not really worried about being the corporate man. We're all our own guy. And it just works better. It is a 2020 model. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's the future. Entertainment companies going to the consumer direct is the future. In the entertainment industry, they call it over the top, like what Disney's doing. It means basically for them, it's direct to consumer. It's B2C. And that's where Disney's putting its focus, its resources, but all the big companies are doing it now because entertainment companies would have always done that if the technology existed. Technology didn't exist. Now the technology exists. So because technology exists, it's going to be.
Adam, there's one thing that we can do that they cannot do is what we're doing right this very minute. Marvel, DC, these other places will not be able to do this because they would have to start paying people, because their heart's not going to be in it. They're not going to be able to wrangle talent to go on and talk about these projects. The reason we do is because we created them, and but they don't have the same stake. So I believe one of the things that makes this incredibly unique and original is what we're doing right this very minute, where we're also personalities. We're selling the projects.
Well, some of us are. Others of us not so much. But in any case, Death Sworn, a personality among us is Carla Road. $33,000 just passed.
Nice.
Another landmark for Carl.
We're close to beating Deadbeats, dude. Getting that beat Deadbeats club.
You got to beat Deadbeats. You have to beat Deadbeats.
We all have to beat Deadbeats, man.
One single young Irishman destroys an army of SJW.
Oh, and it is one. I do everything. I do everything. The only thing I don't do with this book is staple it, man. Like we're come on, one guy versus an army of these
40 plus industry darlings, 40 plus industry superstars.
The ones just me, a Frank Frazetta painting on me on a fucking hill of their corpses with a fucking battle axe. That's what we're gonna do. We're painting that up. We're gonna ship it out with the book.
Oh my God, it's so delightful. It's funny. All right, let me keep reading these. Let's see. The reason Malin was dissing Kelsey's comic book ideas is because he knows a Kelsey book will destroy Graveyard Shift, says the Dallas Deadeye. Malin's not here to defend himself. Rhino says, whenever people say don't buy from the big two OG comic skaters try to use local comic shops as a shield, as if smaller publishers can't be bought in a local comic shop. A lot of OG ComicsGate are big two cucks who count other people's money. I agree. I agree with that. We love Spider-Man so much. We love Spider-Man books so very, very much that we don't mind just kind of sticking around and letting them spit in our faces. Lord of the Nerd says, isn't Malin the dude SJWs was saying got canned from the industry for the Christian position that being gay is a sin? Didn't they circulate some DMs? John Malin's an atheist. I think you're thinking of Mike S. Miller. Installation 7 says, John, what's your take on Rob Liefeld being rejected by Jim Lee in DC for his New Gods story multiple times? John's not here. My take is probably Rob Liefeld's take on the New Gods was fucking horrible. And you know, I mean, I like Rob in a way, but you know,
would you not want to see that though? I'd rather see that than what they're putting out now. You know, I'd rather see like a crazy ADHD cocaine fueled Rob Liefeld version of the New Gods than fucking any trash they put out now, where they like put all the New Gods on leather jackets and Doc Martens instead of their fucking Kirby costumes.
You know, Carl, the thing is, like, the difference between what you and I want to see and what DC and Jim Lee want to see is vast. Like, I want to see that. That sounds like a horrible trash fire. I do want to see it. I really enjoy Rob Liefeld's work because it is uniquely terrible and thoughtless and tasteless. And I collect his books for that reason, you know. But no.
it's like Tom King is doing New Gods stuff now, so it's Tom King versus Rob Liefeld, and they couldn't be further apart. I'd put them both out at the same time.
Well, you know what? When Rob teams up with Mark Polton, the writer of Graveyard Shift, they're pretty good. I worked on a Hawkman series, the New 52 Hawkman, with Joe Bennett, and the combination of those two guys was good because Rob was getting the big bombastic like plot stuff in there, story, and then you know, Mark was kind of getting the dialogue in there and fleshing out some of the story details. I thought it was a good combination. So I think Rob's got some genuinely good story ideas. You know, he might need a little help executing them.
He doesn't have any good story. Any evidence. He's been working for how long? And he does not. Can you name a good story that Rob Liefeld has kind of? I mean, you know,
Youngblood was a pretty cool concept. I think, you know, like it was like young, you know, superheroes that were basically becoming like corporate heroes. You know?
Way too nice. We're celebrity superheroes. That's it. That's where it begins and ends, and the rest of it is just X-Men.
Yeah, but the concept, I guess maybe the idea is pretty fun.
All right. People are forgiving of Rob because Rob's kind of an outsider now, but like Rob, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Rob's kind of experienced an almost ironic sort of rescuing of his legacy by people who are just being kind of nice right now. I think his stuff.
I feel the same way about Rob as I do about the prequel Star Wars movies. Or like right now, you're like, you know what? I'd like to see it back. It wasn't that good, but I'd like to see it back.
Now the sequels are out. Maybe the prequels weren't all that bad.
Yeah, like that. I agree with you there. Like what's going on now with SJW Comics is significantly worse. Like it's more coherent than what Rob Liefeld ever did, but it's worse. Like its message is ugly and gross. Rob Liefeld's comics were often incoherent. I always compared them to I always kind of mercifully said that Rob Liefeld was like a punk band in the sense that like he knew 3 chords, and he played them over and over again, but they had power behind them that actually got through to people and shook them up. You know, those early Youngblood books, they're just not well done, but man, you feel them. You know what that style is. You feel them when you see them, and that was the appeal that Rob had in the early 90s. But you know, lionizing Rob Liefeld as anything other than what he actually is just like, well, I guess. Do we have to do that? I mean, must we? Must we do that? I mean, he's been kind of a dick to ComicsGate. You know, he's funny, he's amusing, but you know, I don't think he's a good comic book creator. I find that's a bridge too far to cross for me. John Mayall's a million times better. So is RT Bear. All right. So with that bit of honesty, I cringe when I talk like that.
I'm just very, very silent. I'm just like, well, I said peace.
Yeah, like here's the thing, Art. It's because we both still have that thing in us. Like we're both mainstream creators who have courtesy. You know, it's like there's professional courtesy inherent. You learn it in comics. You don't talk bad about other creators.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't. You only say positive things. But I mean, these guys are unloading on us every single day.
I think part of that, Ethan, is that you don't do that. You don't denigrate other creators because that actually could affect people getting work. So I think now it's okay because I don't think that's going to affect Rob Liefeld getting work whatsoever.
No, not at all.
So he's doing like Snake Eyes for IDW or something. God bless him.
They don't. People aren't going to listen to what I say, so I think it's safe for me to say.
Yeah, now it's safe. No editor is listening to you saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to assign projects to Rob Liefeld. So it's all good. Honesty can play.
Yeah.
I only speak like that, Ethan, of artists and creative people that are dead because they can't fight back.
You think they can't fight back. You never know. There's zombies out there.
Jack Kirby.
Let's see. Downshift says Ethan says he has professional courtesy. Art shows he has it. No, I said there is professional courtesy. I'm saying that I'm not necessarily positive that I'm binding myself to it anymore. I haven't decided officially. But you know, when you have a YouTube channel and you are fighting the mainstream comic book industry, I find honesty to be a little bit more of a important virtue than professional courtesy. You know, in my opinion, when it comes to especially other, you know, mainstream creators. Okay, so what do you think of that? Am I wrong? Is that out of line?
No, I can't say that in a year or two from now, if I'm successful and I keep building, you know, my YouTube channel and these books are doing well, that I might feel the same, because you're also at that point, you're a little bit removed from it, you know, so you don't feel as connected to it. So then you can speak your mind.
Yeah, like that's right. Well, I mean, here's the other thing though, like professional courtesy is a two-way street. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're shown professional courtesy, you should return professional courtesy. If you aren't, all bets should be off.
One-way streets are just like a SJW NPC thing. They want respect, but they will never ever give you respect.
Right. Yeah. And if somebody's blasting me, I think then you know the gloves are off at that point, and then you expose them for their weaknesses and shortcomings. You know, because it's only fair, you know.
Also, with your status, Ethan, you're a broadcaster now. You have things to say. You have a big following, so people might care what you actually think about certain people and their work. And, you know, you want to endorse things that you think are good. You're always sincere about that. So at least as far as we can tell by listening to you. So if you don't like the work, you don't like the work, and you're saying why, and that's what it's about. There are artists, I mean, at least in the hundreds, that probably listen to this channel that are looking for tips and looking for what you think about this or think about that.
Mark Trafford says Rob Liefeld must be doing something right because he's always in other people's mouths. That I agree with. Rob Liefeld is a great.
What that means. What does that mean?
That means that people talk about him a lot. I mean, this is the thing. You could, you know, I've got the same thing going on. It's like people talk about me endlessly, whether it's good or bad. You know, it's like, you know, if you're being spoken about, that's a big deal. You know, if
say that at Extreme Studios all the time, you know, as long as they're talking, you know, as long, you know, the worst thing is when they're not saying anything at all. Yeah. Good publicity, bad publicity. Wasn't that in that Elvis movie? What's the difference?
Clint says I need to be harder on Rob. I mean, like I said what I said. I don't think my views on Rob Liefeld, as I've just expressed, are unique or surprising to anyone. I think most people, especially people 10 years ago, would have agreed with 100% of what I just said. It was just pretty standard stuff. But let me see here. Let's see another opinion. No, Ethan, you have to be the bigger man. Remember, thou shalt not cast shade. And that cross around your neck. Oh, this is sarcasm.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's keep going. Let's see. Status quo fears revolution, and ComicsGate is a revolution. Count me in, says Eddie Winkler. Charlie's London says, guys, sometimes I question my place here. I don't produce amazing comics. I'm not an incredible artist, but when I listen to you and you welcome us on your journey, I realize we're all ComicsGate. Charlie's London, you have a place here. You're a part of this family. You're a part of this community, and you are a backer and supporter of so many ComicsGate books, and you know, a voice in the streams. We liked seeing you on when we had. I passed out the link to the chat last week, and it was wonderful. I'm going to do that more often.
That was great. You handled it so well. Everybody was great on that.
Charlie's came in.
With her is that I look at them in movie terms as producers, because we couldn't produce these comic books without them. So if you're backing the book, you are you are directly linked to the creation of these books, because without that financial backing, we couldn't create them.
They are all producers.
You are definitely part of the process. Yeah.
Scarlet Crusader says, at first ComicsGate was about the fans, but now creators are directly engaging the fans on a daily basis. It's become a great symbiotic relationship.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cider Hype says, the hype train on Cider Hype. Check out the promo. So that's at Cider Hype. Justin Dutton says, Unstitched 2020 to join the great list of ComicsGate books next month. Mailing list launch. I love it. A lot of people getting ready to launch their books. Sulfur X says, Uncle E busily working on page 205 of my upcoming comic. Well, listen to 205. Hoping to contribute to ComicsGate for the first time in 2020. I'll send you a reader copy prior to the crowdfunding. Make sure that you make bookmarks for your comic. Jason
M. a lot of pages.
205 pages. It's always a zero-sum game to SJWs. Even if you go off and do your own thing, it's still a loss for them since you're not under their thumb. They don't care about money. It is about control. Michael Bancroft says, I'm drawing some Death Sworn right now. Go, Carl.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw some of that last night. It's looking great.
Nice.
Badass, man.
Matthew Lemon says, are Cyberfrog trading cards no longer a thing? No, they're still in production. I decided that I need to get Cyberfrog 2 out before I want to sell too much more merchandise. So like this year, I'm putting out the hardcover so people can read all of the old stuff. And then I'm putting out Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet. And then we'll put out the trading cards. There's going to be a card game in there that we're working on with some Kelsey Shannon artwork. A bunch of other people. Kanan White, I think, is going to be doing some of the artwork for the card game. And it just makes more sense, like just to have one book out there and launch a trading card set. Let's get 2 books out. Optimus Deadpool, thanks for $10. Hey, EVS, in regards to ComicsGate, would you say the criticism is still valid, like what we do, which frankly is more making fun of mainstream while platforming new comic creators? Yeah, like I would say go ahead and keep making your videos. Here's what I don't like. Here's what OG ComicsGate does that I don't like. OG ComicsGate should continue making videos criticizing the mainstream, criticizing comic book, SJWs. That's absolutely what their place should be. But they also should be supportive of what we're doing, which is ComicsGate Phase 2. It's just launching our own comics. If you're in the way of that, if you're actively blocking us, if you're actively campaigning to make it so that our thing fails, what you're doing is dead. It's just dead. Ultimately, what is your goal? To stop us from making comics? I mean, like that is stupid. And ultimately, it would be one thing if the mainstream was listening to you and giving you the Spider-Man books you want, but they're not. So you're cucking yourself. You're trying to cuck us, and you will fail. Your movement is dead. Join us. All of the best original gangster OG comics skaters are with us. They're creating comics. They might not be on this show, but Doug Ernst, Just Some Guy, Captain Frugal, and of course, the great ya boy Zach all came along with us. If you're against what we're doing here, you're going to fail. We will make sure that you fail. Zaid Comics says, ready to contribute to that 10 million for 2020. Magic Cop is in demand right now. Let's get it to 6,000. And we just announced our next IP, The Lost Pages. So that's good. Mark C says, the earth has lost its greatest drummer who ever lived. Rest in peace. Neil Peart from Rush just died.
No way. Oh my gosh. That's horrible. Yeah. We lost another one. R.I.P.
Yeah, rest in peace, Neil Peart. Steps and Gold says, I was reminded today that a New Gods movie is happening with Ava DuVernay and Tom King writing. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. I will not go see it. Kaka Gluant says, hail Cecil, hail Cash Grab, Fudge Dry January. And Hugo from Uruguay, thank you for your donation. I appreciate you. It's great. All right, so I'm going to show you guys, if you want to see, I reached out to an artist who did the variant cover for Cyberfrog #4 back in the 90s, Skull Crusher. This guy, his name's Jay Lee. He is an industry veteran, long respected. He broke into comics at the age of 16, drawing Namor from Marvel Comics. He was drawing comics while he was in high school for Marvel, big leagues. and worked for Image doing a comic book called he was working for Rob Liefeld on Young Blood Strike File. Did his own book called Hell. What was it called? Hell Shock. And has just been Batman this, Aliens this. He's been all over the place doing some of the most popular comics, and he is 100% a legend. Reached out to him because he did the variant cover to Cyberfrog #4 back in 1997. I said, you want to come back and do some covers for Cyberfrog? And he was actually excited to do so. And the first one that we showed is this. This has got, this is just kick-ass. This is a cover for Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet. And it is amazing. Kyle Ritter colored it. So people are pretty excited about this. And now we're going to premiere the second cover that he did. Which I'm not quite sure where it's going to be yet. I think it might be another variant cover for Wrecked Planet. But he did 2 sketches, and he said, choose one. And I said, I want them both. So here's the second one, and this is Kyle's. Kyle Ritter prefers this one. There we go. This is
that's cool.
Jay Lee's Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet second variant cover, which I dig. Get Heather with a knife and an axe. You've got little Lily down here. She's got a knife as well. These are survivors for 20 years among the Vespis. And his Cyberfrog is suitably spooky and frog-like. So we got 2 Jay Lee covers, and these people are going absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy over this. What can I tell you? They can't stop us.
They're beautiful. Yeah. Jay Lee is the master, and I like how thematically they're colored similar, so they look like they're companion pieces to each other.
Yep. Yeah. So these will look great in chrome. We're gonna do chromium versions of these, so they'll be nice. Imagine this metallic, this background all shiny and everything.
It's gorgeous.
Absolutely beautiful. So there you go. I'm gonna tweet it out a little bit later so that you guys can kind of pass it around. Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet is going to launch this year, but first and foremost is the Cyberfrog Warts and All hardcover. Very excited about that. I've decided I'm working on how it's going to go. I guess we're going to do a bare bones version for $30, and then we're going to do a super awesome slipcover version with a bonus thing called Frogapalooza, a zine which contains all of the old pre-unprinted stuff from Cyberfrog before Hall of Heroes. It's going to look like an old school stapled together zine, Carl. You weren't around in the 90s, but you would have loved it.
No, I love that. I'm kind of going like that with my Ashcan. I'm going for like a uncoated paper, like real cool. I want to mix between like a manga and a zine.
Garage band kind of like homemade. Of course, it'll be big. It'll be produced. Don't worry, guys. It's going to be, expensively made, but we're going to try to make the design look like it was made in my garage and stapled together. It's going to look badass.
Don't let Ethan fool you. He just ordered a printing press. He's in the back.
He hired George.
I was going to say, where's Alex?
George is out there with his little folding bone. I mean, ruining everybody's spine.
Yeah, the George Alexopoulos method of just making it yourself. That's not what I want to do. I want everything to be highly well produced. These books will all be signed, and I offered them. I was talking about making them $100, but I heard some feedback. And I'm going to wheel that back. I'm going to make it $80.
Nice.
So I think that's pretty fair. The bare bones version originally was going to be $40. You guys said, I don't like. Well, actually, you guys didn't complain at all. You said that's great. Wheeled it back to $30. I said the exclusive, cool, pumped up version will be $100. You guys said don't like that price. You said $80 sounds better to us. We're going to make it $80. So $30. $80. Those are the 2 tiers, and we're going to build on it. So there'll be more bells and whistles. Another maybe trading card pack if this does well. This will be the first big Cyberfrog campaign of 2020.
That book's going to be hundreds of pages, right?
328 pages.
Outrageous.
Maybe more. Like that's 320 pages. 328 pages of content of actual story. Wow. But I want to actually get in there and write and say, hey, in 1993, I was doing this, and this is what this means. There are a lot of inner jokes in here, inside jokes that were only funny to me and my friends. Let me explain them to you. There's the fact cards. There'll be commentary throughout the book that might pump it up and make it bigger than that.
Fantastic.
I think the 8-page rule still counts. It's like you can only do these things in batches of 8 pages. So it'll be bigger, but at least 328 pages for $30 hardcover. It's not going to look like one of Doug TenNaples' yearbooks. It's going to look.
It smells like a yearbook too. I have that book. I'm sitting there going, man, I feel like I'm looking through my old yearbook here. I recognize this smell.
Like, see you next summer, Ethan. It was good getting to know you.
It was good using you and ripping off all your fans. Doug TenNaples.
Have a good summer.
This is going to be a great book. Do I still? Oh, let me pull this up here.
Sorry you didn't make the football team next year.
Sorry, I took my headphones off for a minute, so I didn't hear you guys.
Chair stream.
Kind of a chair stream. So this is the model that we're looking at. This is The Art of Trauma. Okay, that was produced by Dynamite Comics. Dynamite's going to give me a little bit of help finding the printer to do this right. Look at this beautiful, beautiful book. It looks like a VHS tape.
A huge VHS tape.
Yeah. Wow. Gigantic. It's got a little thing in here. I don't know what this is. I'm not really sure, but it's an autograph. It's Lloyd Kaufman's autograph. Oh. I'll actually sign the real book. But if you buy the $80 version, you're going to be getting a bonus zine, which is kind of like this. This will be.
They're asking you to go full screen, Ethan, so we can get a better look at it.
Okay, good idea. Okay, so let's do this again. And wait, let me put it together first before I display it, because this was in pieces on my floor. But I want you guys to understand that this. Can I do this? Of course I can. This is a brilliant quality product here.
Oh, it's in a slipcase?
Yeah. So this goes in there too, but I'm not going to try to shove this in here right now. So this is what the book is going to look like. It's going to be thicker than this because it's 328 pages, so it might be more like this. But ideally, this is what it's going to look like. This kind of quality production. This is going to be nice. Everything about it is going to be as good as I can make it, depending on how much money we raise. If we don't raise very much, it's going to be a little bit more kind of bare bone. But I imagine we're going to do pretty good. Sure. So this will be the $80 version, and inside there with the book will be something like this: a bonus zine. Okay, it's going to be called Frogapalooza Zine, new cover art. And it's going to contain all of the stuff, including a Cyberfrog versus Wolverine thing that I drew when I was 19. And I'm going to have to kind of edit Wolverine a little bit. But my friend found this for me. I was like, what? He's like, do you remember doing it? No, I don't remember this.
Just say it was a parody.
It's a parody of Cyberfrog versus something else.
I might get a Polter on you. He'll go tell mommy and daddy on you.
So all of that crap is going to go in here. I mean, it's pure garbage, but it's good. It's of historical interest, I guess. And I'm going to do commentary throughout it. But this will be in there. This will be the Cyberfrog Frogapalooza zine, 1993 to 1994 Cyberfrog. And then, this is, you'll get a nice slipcover like this. The book inside, as so. It's going to be super, super high quality. Will it come in a fancy box? Maybe.
It all depends on you.
Yeah, it's up to how we do. But this is it, and I'm gonna probably see if I can get some trading cards. We'll do regular stretch goals, like, hey, how do you guys feel about? I don't know what. How do you guys want a calendar? Do you guys want pillow mints? I don't know. What do we make? Part of this is about, an opportunity to make new things as well.
You jump into the new trend and get a Cyberfrog waifu pillow.
Oh, yeah. Waifu pillows for everyone.
I kind of want to do a waifu pillow.
There you go. Yeah.
But you need to do a Cyberfrog patch. Do a patch. I changed one of my stretch goals for a patch, and people were like, "Yeah, we want a patch. You want a patch, dude? CG is punk. People want patches to fucking put on their stuff and be punk and go to cons and show it off and stuff and be in the club.
Yes,
it's like a biker patch for
Cyberfrog. You need Cyberfrog biker vest, and then we can put patches on all the ComicsGate projects on them.
Yeah, we're a 1%er gang. We're gonna,
and
1%. You ever get 1% of the comic book industry?
Oh yeah, we're 1%er biker gang. 1% of the comic book industry.
1%. Yeah, you're right. I did 2 patches for black and white, and I'm getting photos now of people that are sewing them onto their vests and their bomber jackets and stuff like that. So yeah, it kind of works like a T-shirt, but it's it doesn't.
You want to be able to mail it. That's the problem. Is that T-shirts are trouble because they're not paper. They need to be small and fit in with a package easily. So patches sound okay to me. I would do it. Adam Friended wants a Heather Swain waifu pillow.
Hey, that was personal. You're not supposed to read that.
It's a good idea. Somebody else wants Cyberfrog condoms, and I'm like, well, why not Salamandroid condoms?
Wait, Adam,
that makes more sense.
A full body pillow like that you would lay down with it, or just your head? Like what is?
It has to be full body, or else it's not a waifu pillow.
A man can dream, Art. Leave me alone.
We embrace the stickers over patches.
A woman laying down, right? You just kind of hug it. Yeah.
Lama Giganti says, I want a fridge magnet. I already have them. I have a bunch of fridge magnets that I've only given out to a few people. Cyberfrog fridge magnets. You know what I actually want to make? And I don't know if I can make them, if I'll be able to afford, because I'm keeping, as you can see, I just lopped $20 off of my profits here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford to do it this time. But if you go to those, if you go to some of those vending machines, like gumball machines, they have these things for 50 cents. They're sticky grabbers, and they're like, they'll have a hand at the end of it. You can grab a sheet of paper and pull it back. Slimy, sticky. I want to make a plastic Cyberfrog head and then have that coming out of his mouth as a tongue and just be like, you can be able to. Yeah, I want to make those so bad, and I'm told that they can find out for me how to make those, who makes them, and I can make those. How much are they going to cost me so that I can sell them for 50 cents?
Yeah, that's like an Alibaba thing. Yeah, you can make those. You can definitely make those. Oddity just made some. Sween's just made some gorgeous enamel pins.
I saw those.
Yeah, and they were about $1 each, I think, for a couple of hundred or something like that. But I don't know how, it depends on the shipping. Well, yeah, you could probably ship them in whatever box you're shipping comics in and stuff.
Oh, yeah. It shouldn't be a problem. Ronnie Schreiber says the Cyberfrog embroidery will make a great 10 by 7-inch patch. I can't wait to see that, Ronnie. I'm excited to see this thing that you sent me.
And of course, the Fez caps. The Fez caps have to happen.
Yeah.
How are you going to outdo Doug TenNaples' box? I was thinking, when it opens up, it has to be like a cardboard cutout of Cyberfrog that like comes into your face.
The problem with that,
whoa, it comes into your face.
Spring load.
Doug TenNaples' box comes in your face. Calm down.
That didn't come out right.
Brings a love to you.
Speaking of which,
yeah, that was worded totally incorrectly.
Gross. Well, you've seen. I actually showed you guys something privately. You saw like the.
Yeah.
The thing.
Yeah.
The thing.
So, yeah, like the box that Doug TenNaples made. The only reason why it was great was because he was the first one to think of it. But it was a piece of shit. We could do way better than that.
Beautiful.
Way better than that.
Well, also it was an external shipping box, right? So it's going to get damaged.
Yeah. I mean, so you can do, you can do an external shipment. See, I talked to people about my chicken box idea, and they said, yeah, but we want that in mint. So it's like,
if you're going to produce a box like that, even what Doug did, he made a mistake there, whether people liked it or not. You can't deliver stuff that is custom that doesn't look great. And if it's your company and you have like your company logo, like all caps comics printed on your Gemini mailers or whatever, that's cool. That's fine. That can get damaged. Yeah. And you can do that relatively, reasonably, whoever supplies the Gemini mailers in quantity. And that goes back to the 80s, people who were doing stuff like that. Well, it's any company. But you can't do a beautifully printed artwork piece and then have that thing come dinged whatsoever. It's got to be perfect. So that makes the international shipping difficult too, because you have to put another outside box to protect it.
You know, we had the good JDA, John or James Dean Anderson, the chicken. Look up in the upper right hand corner here. He actually did the Heather Swain chicken fry restaurant. Heather Swain works at Chicken Fry, and that's where she brings Cyberfrog. He actually made a professional logo that looks like a real fucking restaurant now.
You know what'd be nice for that? Maybe as an extra thing is like a menu, like a one-page menu design. He could do that with prices.
Inside the box, yeah.
Yeah, either include it in the book or just print it on a cardstock piece or something like that, and include it in the book, either as a stretch goal or just as a cool extra thing.
Yeah. This will be Wrecked Planet. We're gonna deliver your order in a 12-piece chicken fry box here.
But Cyberfrog vodka.
I'd love to do stuff.
And then
like
the tagline could be "It'll get wrecked."
Yeah,
oh, man, that would be awesome.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked. Please drink responsibly.
I love it. Oh, that's what the T-shirt should be. Oh shit. People are saying we want more Cyberfrog T-shirts, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do the Wrecked Planet T-shirt. I'm gonna right now. I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be on a T-shirt, cool. And I'm thinking about dropping out the background so that this is just against black. Maybe I don't really know. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But I was gonna put the Wrecked Planet logo, which I think is almost finished now, on this. But I might as well just make it say "Get Wrecked." Cyberfrog, get wrecked.
It works with the image too, because they're wreaking havoc.
Yeah. Got to get more T-shirts up. I'm telling you, this is the year of $10 million for ComicsGate. Everyone, bring your ideas forward. Everyone, put your books out there. Everyone, support each other. Promote. Bring new fans in.
On that note, if Dr. Alpha does well, and if the delivery goes out, I have 2 more planned. The second Dr. Alpha and another project called Black Metal, which is essentially like Samurai Jack and Lone Wolf and Cub all put together, and King Arthur kind of all put together. And I have a tagline for it already. See if I can find it. It's the tagline for it is a shamelessly masculine power fantasy for a bygone age.
We love power fantasies.
Yes, we do. Yeah, especially masculine ones.
Masculine power fantasies.
Not SJW ones. Yep.
Not the modern masculine power fantasy where you get to like I don't know, you're a man washing dishes or something, but like a real one for a bygone age.
Ribbity wrecked.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. Year of the Wolf, Year of the Frog. Let's get all our books out there and just have fun this year. I'm psyched about it, and that's what I mean. I mean, look, the era of sitting around complaining about what other people are doing or aren't doing is over. It's dead. It's dead. Professionals and customers who want change are going to enforce change. We are that change. We are the change that we are seeking, and we've been seeking all along. We're not going to go back to a time where we're fighting with fat incels, trying to get them to make Spider-Man comics that don't offend our sensibilities. We're just going to make better comics, and we're going to outsell them. We have to be that change ourselves. We have to do it ourselves. And that's 2020. That's ComicsGate 2020.
ComicsGate is the answer to their cries. You asked for help. Here it is. Here it is. Hardcore, serious people that know how to get things done. There's about, I'm going to guess just off the top of my head, a good 50 ComicsGate publishers that are serious, that are focused on this, that are getting things done. There's some big guys. There's some smaller guys, and there's guys coming up. And there's guys like us that see this is working. We're putting more resources in. We're going to do better books, more books. We're going to get them delivered on time, making them gorgeous. Like you see, Ethan is raising his game already. Cyberfrog 1 to Cyberfrog 2. Look at what he's delivering for Cyberfrog 2. It's going to be Jay Lee is on Cyberfrog 2. That was quick.
Awesome. I know.
Who's next on 3?
Yeah, and all is welcome. Everybody's welcome to be part of this. It's not, an exclusive club. So, whatever your ideological beliefs are, come on in, man. Back these books. See what.
Come join us. Yeah. Let's come join us and let's be a part of this. We're going for the 1%. We're going to be the 1%ers this year. I don't know if we're going to do it or not, but let's fucking.
We're doing it. 10 million. We're doing
10 million. All right.
Done.
It's a lot of books, guys. We got to produce a lot of books to get there. The idea of producing $10 million and like me and Zach only doing one book each, John Malin only doing one book, that's not going to fly. We have to produce a lot more stuff.
We'll talk about it. We can produce. I used to do as many as 50 comics a month. We got a call from Bill Shanis, was a VP of Diamond at one point, and he was like, "Hey, are you guys serious? Are you really doing this many books? I got to see." And I'm like, "Look, we had a studio of like 30 people working in there in the early 90s. They weren't all high-end books, but they were books that made money, and they were books that came out. Now everything I'm doing is just high-end only. But there's a lot of creators. They want to get involved. The guys who are sitting on the sidelines, you guys sit as long as you want. As work starts to dry up, take on some freelance work like Jay Lee did."
Well, you get Bill in. I mean, he pretty much built the template because that's Pacific Comics, right? Him and his brother.
Oh no, I didn't work with Bill. Bill was at Diamond at the time. He was asking me, "Could you get this done?" But we worked with John Tartaglione. We didn't work with Billy Tucci. We turned him down. That was dumb. But hey, you can't be. But we worked with Adam Polina on Chromium, man. Work with a lot of terrific people. There's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of like you can do your best work with ComicsGate too. Like Carl is doing his best work right now. Ethan's doing his best work. I'm doing my best work. Art always does gorgeous work, so God only knows. And Lit Devil he's new in the game. He's putting his first work out, but just like everybody else in CG, it's going to be top level, high quality stuff. This is the place where you can do your best work, get appreciated, and get supported.
My brother in the chat, my brother Josiah, who's like a year and a half younger than me, says John Bogdanov. He's a big fan. I am too. I'll ask John. He's an SJW, I think, or at least a lefty. But you do a Cyberfrog cover? He's not my first choice for Cyberfrog. It'd be fun to get him to do that. Diversity Comics, he's actually John Delarose, who's taken the name Diversity Comics.
Zach's in the chat.
No, not Zach. It's you. It's your boy.
Your boy John.
Yeah, it's okay. He says, I'm working on getting at least 12 books out this year, hopefully more. He's called John Delarose is ComicsGate. He doesn't hang out here. He doesn't come on my show. He's ComicsGate, though, and he's out there doing his own ComicsGate thing. He's got his own friends. That's awesome. That's all. Look, 12. This guy, John Delarose, even though we disagree about a lot, we agree about a lot of stuff, too. He's out on Amazon right now, and he's going to try to put his books out on Amazon monthly, and then he's going to try to get his books through Diamond, through the direct market, if he can do that, that'd be amazing. So, cheers, John Delarose.
Good luck to you, John.
Yeah, seriously, it doesn't matter. It's all ComicsGate. We're a cult and we're a club, but look, we don't have to all get along. We just all have to work together towards that one thing.
Succeed, just succeed. Do more, succeed, and help other people.
But we will all have to wear silly hats at some point.
Like the fezzes are definite. Yeah. I mean, that's just unarguable.
Yeah.
Michael Golden. Can you imagine Michael Golden, Cyberfrog? Damn. If you can't get Todd McFarlane, you go to Michael Golden. I had to interview Michael Golden one time, and I had one question to ask him, and I said, So how does it feel knowing that Todd McFarlane made millions and millions of dollars by ripping off your art style? And he stood there like, doesn't feel great. But I like it. I'm a fan of Todd's. I'm like, Michael Golden's whole thing, that's where Todd McFarlane came from. So yes.
A lot of others. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, influenced a lot of people. And then we were influenced by Todd. So who knows? Get Brian Boland. Would love to. All right, let me read some more super chats and then I'll probably let you guys go. We'll see. 200 Watt Studio says, with 2 variants for Rect, will there be 9 more? Great question. I just have these covers and I don't know what to do with them. I mean, honestly, I've got this second cover because I really wanted another piece of Jay Lee artwork. And the question is, where am I going to put it? I only have plans to do 2 covers for Wrecked Planet right now. One is going to be by me, and the second one's going to be by the Jay Lee cover that I showed you, the old one, the first one. Those are going to be the 2 covers, but I've got this extra cover. Honestly, I could produce another comic book to put it on. We've got Cyberfrog Numb being drawn by E.J. Morges right now. Maybe that's the cover. I'm not really sure, but I have this piece of artwork, or I could just hang on to it and make a third cover later on when the first 2 campaigns sell through. I don't know. No real plans. It's all fast and loose. I wanted you guys to enjoy the artwork. And no, there will not be a campaign with 9 variant covers to choose from. I mean, it's goddamn ridiculous. 2 is enough. 2 is really enough. Matthew Lemon says, my joint amount says $6.99. You say it's $4.99 mistake? Your joint amount. Yeah, is that Canadian? Is it Canadian dollars? In USD, it should be $4.99. Eve says, put extras as stretch goals, EVS. It's a great promo. Well, that's an idea. Extras as stretch goals. Yeah, I will.
Chicken fry menu.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah, napkins. But not for the hardcover. The hardcover is going to be like trading cards and stickers and normal things. Liam Gray says stickers over patches. Gilbert Blumendahl says, hey, Ethan, when will the SF with head sketch ship? SF with head sketch.
Cyberfrog.
Cyberfrog? Okay.
Yeah.
It's shipping right now. I have 726 to get done. I'm somewhere in the middle of 400 and something of them. So they're on their way. I have another crate of them here on the floor that I did last night. I mean, I'm cranking these things out. That's my only job right now, is to get those head sketches done.
Ethan's been doing live streams with those.
Doing those? Oh man, I feel your pain.
Yeah.
I have 30 of those to do myself.
How many?
Only 30.
Only 30. Oh.
Compared to you, it's like it's nothing, but to me, it's pretty monumental.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I do it as soon as I wake up. I sit down, I start throwing them in the box, and throwing them in the box, and it's a hell of a lot of work. But then I look at it and I go 726 times $100 each.
Yeah,
that's $72,000. Yeah, it's worth it. It's a full-time job. I don't mind doing it.
I like the streams to watch you do it, while I'm working, because then I feel like I can't really complain about my day when I see you drawing all those Cyberfrog heads.
It's fun though. I don't mind, and I turn on the camera. I'll probably do that again. I'll just turn on the camera and do a long-running live stream where I babble and draw those. People actually like those.
Yeah, those are fun.
A lot of them. I like watching you do that.
Yeah, I'll probably do that again today. This is my ComicsGate live stream. I'll do a drawing stream directly after this. And plus, like I was doing that, Andrea came down and sat with us, and she actually came on camera for a little bit, for just a split second yesterday. And it was just like, we made like $170 in super chats. Why wouldn't I just turn my camera on and talk to people? Why wouldn't you just try to make more money while you're making money?
Well, the big question is, did you get your laundry basket?
Yeah. We didn't get a wicker one. We found something else that we ended up going to Home Goods, and they had a little selection. The wicker baskets were also heavy. She picked one up and I said, this wicker basket weighs 15 pounds without laundry in it. Like, you don't want to buy this. So we got this other one, which I think is better. Well Hung and Dung says, my musk is potent. Drink it in. You're welcome. That's disgusting.
Oh, no.
Let's see. Mr. Biggins says, and this is for John Delarose, says, Diversity in Comics jersey needs to be retired. John Delarose. No support from me or mine until you honor his name. I will tell John Delarose this. Mr. Biggins has a lot of money and is a big supporter of ComicsGate. Big supporter. So those words should actually come with thunder. You do want Mr. Biggins' support. And what they're saying is, let that jersey be retired and honor that name. So that's something for you to think about. Timecode Mechanics says, I got a bunch of stuff coming this year too. Hexcraft Mechanics UC and issue number 2, Victor Lock DN2, and of course CG Blastback role-playing games. So Nathan Brendan Masters has got 3 projects coming this year. That's going to get us closer to the 10 million. We need everybody to just produce great stuff, not just a whole lot of shit. Produce more great stuff.
We don't want shit here.
More great.
Yeah.
Loch Ness Yoshi says, Ethan, you inspire me. Oh, thanks. You inspire me too. Every day. You guys do. To keep going. Yeah.
I didn't tell you this, Ethan, but when you gave Mike Miller $200 in super chats out of kindness that other night, I was like, I was gonna tweet to you, and I'm like, nah, it's a little too fruity, but that was inspiring to me. Just the way you're like, listen, we had a bad, I don't know, you guys had a bad dynamic going, whatever it was. You were like, listen, I only wish you well, and I'm going to give you money, and I'm gone. I'm going on my way. And I was like, that was like such a piece of kindness, such a chunk of kindness. That I was like, that is inspirational. It really is.
Would you call that Christian kindness, Adam?
I'm Jewish. What do I know? No, I am, but it doesn't matter what the faith is. It's just kindness of like, listen, just so we understand each other, I hope you do well. And here you go. Here's money.
I hope Mike's family does well. You know, there's a difference. I'm not sure I want Mike to succeed. I just don't want his family to suffer.
You shouldn't want Mike to succeed because he is a sociopath. He's self-destructive. I'm going to do a series of videos on this because his success means hurting other people. That is a problem. I don't want him to succeed at all of our expenses. Same with the Edwin crew and those guys. So it's natural to not want him to succeed because what he wants is the destruction of us because it'll make him feel better and he'll still not have anything good.
Yeah, you know, at the same time, I don't really care if Mike succeeds or fails, but
No.
I do care about, like, him personally. I do care about his family, and that's kind of the thing. Man,
Yep.
Mike is kind of as of yesterday, something interesting happened. I mean, Mike and Edwin. Mike commanded Edwin to stop his harassment campaign against ComicsGate and depart the field, which I thought was fantastic. I'm grateful for that. You know, I didn't realize Mike was commanding Edwin to harass ComicsGate. But
yeah, that was odd. That was unexpected.
I thought it was the other way around.
By royal decree.
We'll see how that goes. And you know what? If that's the spirit, God bless them and let them have success. And just please stop attacking us and good for you guys.
Yeah. That's how I feel about it too. I you know, let's just stop fighting and making comics. We will fight. This is the thing about people, like, stop fighting. No, we just want to make comics, but we will fight. I mean, if drama is going to happen, we will be there to handle it. Installation 7 for $5 says Amphibionics Ashcan didn't come with my book. How should I go about a replacement? Installation 7, you are one of many people who are the victim of a fulfillment error that happened at the beginning of shipping Cyberfrog cover A. They didn't know Amphibionics was supposed to go in there with the new Ashcan. Amphibionics is a freebie bonus. It was a stretch goal. And because it was a stretch goal that we achieved, it wasn't listed on the tier, okay? Because we invented it while we were going. You create the tiers at the start of the campaign. So fulfillment just began fulfilling the campaign and providing exactly what was on the list. And Amphibionics wasn't on the list because it didn't exist yet when we did that. And they shipped out, I think, 2 or 3 days worth of a massive amount of packages without Amphibionics. I found this out on Christmas Eve and blew my stack. It almost ruined my Christmas. But they said, this is our mistake and we're going to fix it at our own expense, which I very much appreciate. So you are going to be receiving a separate package with Amphibionics in it. And, you know, the apologies implied. It's implicit, but yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I've been watching, you know, Twitter to see people get their Cyberfrog cover A, which is the main chromium, to make sure that now it's coming with Amphibionics, and it seems to be.
Thank God.
What a nightmare! God damn it! Like, I mean, it's like, what else can go wrong? What else could possibly go wrong?
The good thing is that at least everything is going wrong now, and then so your next successful campaign, you'll know exactly what to keep in mind, exactly what to look for, and exactly what to tell them when they start shipping things out. So it might seem bad now, but it will help you out next time.
I agree, Literature Devil. I've learned a million lessons, and the next campaigns are going to go much smoother. Starting with the Salamandroid, remainder campaign and the Ashcan. So that's going to go smooth as silk. We're doing that ourselves, and people will actually probably get notified when their packages ship out. Let's see. Pamboy says, quote, I want all YouTubers doxxed, quote unquote, John Delarose for $1.99. Yeah, I don't know if John said that. Did John, did you say that you want all YouTubers doxxed? Surely you don't want all YouTubers doxxed. You know, not Adam Skullcrusher. He protects his name very carefully.
A lot of people know my name anyway, so I mean,
not Literature Devil.
It's friended.
yeah,
right?
not Lit Dev. Lit Dev
Friended
is the
is a
international man of mystery. So
If I knew where Art T. Bear lived, I would send him flowers.
I'll tell you.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever, Frogman. Thank you, Victor, for that. Yeah, I don't want to get into a fight with Delarose. He does his thing. He goes over there. We do our thing, and it's all good. No,
Yeah.
it should be the way it is. Zebulon Pike says, did Jay Lee do a Salamandroid cover? No, because Salamandroid had
Issues.
Wreck Planet. Go back and read Blood Honey. Diablo AZ says, people say they don't like drama, but that's a lie. It's entertaining as long as it's not happening to you. Your best streams are full of drama. The ones that get the most views are. And Adam, I was totally tempted to go back and show a ComicsGate live stream where Doug TenNapel, the one that
I know. I'm sitting here going, when are we going to get to the drama, Ethan? But I like the fact that, I mean, we sooner or later, we all need to like lay down the weapons. We all need to realize that, a positive message goes further than a bunch of drama. Drama is like a quick fix.
Is it sugar? It's just
It
sugar.
is. It's the pies. Like, we want to do the pies. Come on. I like pie. Who doesn't
Are
like
you sure,
pie?
Adam? Are you sure that you don't want to go into Doug TenNapel, who's just shaved his head?
No.
And
at least show the clip. At least show the clip of Mike, because it's so like Mike has not changed one bit in a year.
yeah. Mike gets me good in this clip here. Hold on a second. Mike disses me pretty hard.
I know, everyone who says Ethan has thin skin needs to look at the clip that Ethan is playing right now. If Ethan truly had thin skin, he would not play this clip.
Of course not. I've heard that, but all right. Mike S. Miller, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, Ethan Van Sciver. How are you doing, my friend?
You know what? I'm doing pretty good, and I'm happy to have you here because Six Gun Samurai, the Meg, Deal with the Devil, right now cruising way past 50,000 in sales, $50,583. So you've got to be feeling pretty good, and I think we can get you up to 60,000. I was right about that. We did get him to 60,000.
It's all your fault, Ethan. Thank you.
Well, it's about time I got some credit for something. I am dragging you. You have to understand, I'm dragging you kicking and screaming. And you're like an anvil.
An anvil. An anvil. How heavy is that anvil now?
Oh my God, dude. It is an albatross now.
Very heavy albatross.
All right, listen to Mike diss me here. This was a great diss. And I remember it took me back. Like, Mike is witty. Mike can come back every now and then. Mike's got one loaded away. He hit John Malin with us. So how was Taco Bell the other day? Which was fucking awesome. And then here he goes again. Credit for something. I am dragging you. You have to understand, I'm dragging you kicking and screaming, Mike. And you're like an anvil. But
I refuse to listen to anything you say. I get it.
I know. And I keep telling people, and I'm like, and I tell Andrew, I'm like, Mike doesn't listen to me. Mike does not listen to me. And everybody agrees that you don't listen to me. But hopefully you're going to start. This is a chance for you to learn and grow. From me, Mike.
Teach Mike.
Mike, I'm like your little brother. Oh, this is bad right here. Holy shit. But this was a big thing. I said, Mike, you're like my little brother.
Oh, yeah.
That's what caused this. Okay. And watch what I say. I realized I shouldn't have said that, and so I decided instead to rub it in, Yeah. Except, yeah. I mean, because you're like 3 years older than me, I think.
Yeah, I'm 47. So.
Does the age difference bother you that I'm bossing you around? I'm 44, you're 47, and I'm saying you need to listen to me. Is that the problem, or is it
no?
Just
at least you look older than me.
Good one, Mike. That was good.
I laughed so hard. I mean, there was a time when ComicsGate was rolling like that, and it was so funny. I mean, everybody was a character. Everybody was fun. Mike coming through with that diss was icy cold, and it was just, I had to salute him. Look who's here. Kabir Kumar's here. Elliot's here. Antonio. You couldn't have this many people now, of course, but that was Google Hangouts.
Portray you on camera, like the people want to see you. The people want to see you reacting to the words of this man. Now,
is that the guy from Alien 3?
He looks like a newborn baby bird.
That's the
like
Fincher alien. I like that alien.
That's the Fincher.
How'd you guys get him?
This was Doug after he had dyed his hair pink. I don't know why. Like Doug would be like, if I get this goal, I'm gonna dye my hair pink. Just say that you want to dye your hair pink, Doug. Nobody asked you to dye your hair pink. That was something that you chose to do. It's a weird thing. It's like, if I get to $200,000, I'm gonna cut off my balls. Nobody asked you to do that.
I'm gonna suck a rainbow dildo if I can get I'll
It
do it
starts
on
to
camera
sound like
in front of
something
everybody.
you want to do. Like, it's not. Nobody's asking you to do this. It was really weird. So then he did that, and he shaved his head. And here we go with Doug.
People presume that you care more about this movie than you actually do, and
I don't. I really don't. I just admire the story structure. I admire the characters. If you really want to torture me, bring that Jean-Luc guy back on.
You know what? That guy was your Andy Dufresne. He gave up his spot for you.
No, he rightfully left to give me a spot.
He gave up.
He didn't belong on the show.
Every time I start to like you, I remember why I hate you.
He didn't belong on the show.
Go Cecil.
And IndieCon is lucky to grab onto our coattails, is what I have to say.
Wow. Now, how did you hear that? Our coattails. That's ComicsGate. Doug is trying to pick a fight. Like right now, Doug is trying at this moment trying to get out of ComicsGate. So he's decided the way to do it is to pick a fight with IndieCron, but he didn't realize that I didn't care about IndieCron. Like it wasn't my thing. So he pivoted to be super supportive of IndieCron. But here he is trying to kind of blow it up here. And he's like, IndieCron's lucky to be on our coattails, ComicsGate. Look at him. Looking like Sinead O'Connor.
Nothing compares to Doug.
Yeah. I'm coming after them because they come after some of my friends. Like they don't have an impressive enough site that NASA would want Trixie on there. That's all.
What?
Hey, wait a second.
Oh boy.
Now, hold on.
What? No, Ethan, shut up. Let's get back to Shawshank now.
Art's in there too. Look at that.
Do Shawshank.
A whole other door here, Doug.
No, Shawshank.
Yeah.
Yikes. Now everybody's grumbling. IndieCron was Edwin's site. Like he was trying to burn down IndieCron. You forget about this ComicsGate history.
Well, now that we're on that real quick. So Pixel Trader is the one that made the site. He worked on the site. He maintains it. He makes no money from it. He loses a little money from it. Edwin was part of it. Edwin was like the face of it, the ambassador or whatever, ambassador. And then Edwin gets into all of his stuff with us. Now that hurt IndieCron. A lot of people don't want to list their books on IndieCron anymore. Now, I don't care so much one way or the other, just as a human being, like, wait a minute, this little Pixel Trader guy, he worked on it for free for a long time. He worked hard to build it up. Edwin gets controversial, basically destroys IndieCron's reputation. And you would think that Edwin would just be like, well, let me step aside from IndieCron. I'm not related to it. I'm my own man. I'll promote my own show. And, I'm not affiliated with IndieCron anymore. That's what Edwin Boyette should be doing if he was a decent man. If he was a human being. Even if he got into a beef or whatever, and it brought negative attention to IndieCron, it's his business to step aside and say, something, it's my thing. I'm not speaking for IndieCron. I'm not even part of IndieCron anymore. That's what any decent person would do. I don't know what he is. I don't see him as a decent person. And I don't mean to go starting a whole new thing. We just talked about this. So I apologize, but it upsets me.
Positive message, Adam. Positive message.
Yep.
It's like Edwin did what Doug said he was going to do, really. He kind of burned IndieCron to the ground, Edwin did, by getting himself so controversial and staying as a gatekeeper to IndieCron.
Can we rescue IndieCron?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, I thought of the same thing. Like, maybe we can help this Pixel guy just out of decency, not because we need IndieCron, but just because out of decency of like, this Pixel guy is a nice guy. He's all right.
Pixel's a good guy. He really is.
I said from the start that, I wasn't really interested in IndieCron. I thought it was kind of a dumb idea. But, I don't want to see, like, it became the source of like so much conflict and weirdness. Like, it, you know what it was? It looked like a gateway to power and influence. So a lot of people tried to, you know, jump and grab a hold of it, when really what it was meant to be was like, hey, this is a way for customers to know which books are ComicsGate. You know, if I'm backing these books because I'm a ComicsGater. I want to back more ComicsGate books and contribute to that $10 million.
Yeah.
How do I do that? Well, that's what IndieCron should be.
Yeah, we don't even have a mailing list. If you want to help us get to that $10 million, at the moment, we don't have a sign up list where you could sign up and we will email you every time a CG book goes on IGG, goes on Indiegogo. We don't have that set up yet, so we're going to have to get a little more organized for.
Maybe we could do something like
year.
that. The chat is basically saying F IndieCron, F IndieCron.
Yeah, at this point it is F IndieCron, although we like Pixel and maybe something new with Pixel one day.
It's associated with Edwin, and I think that's probably
the problem.
Yeah, Edwin killed it. He burned it to the ground, just like Doug said he wanted to do. So we'll do something new.
Edwin wants to promote my book. I'm telling him, please, Edwin, please.
Do not promote
my book.
I asked him not to. I said, do not promote Cyberfrog.
How much do I have to pay you not to promote my book?
Jeez, he's like Rich Johnson, dude. Everyone's like, don't touch my book.
We'll
cursed. Don't report on me. Don't you dare report on me.
We'll do something new without IndieCron. It's just like Ethan had a heart for the guy of like, you know, that Pixel guy's a nice guy. You know that he got exploited, but honestly, he's letting himself get exploited at this point. So it is what it is. It's in the past, but $10 million, you know, that's 8 figures, bitch, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 8 figures, bitch. That's what CG is going to do in 2020.
Well, if he has all the website and all that stuff, why can't he just start a new domain and we promote it?
Well, let's
never mind him. Never mind him.
Get the worms out of it. You know, let's start over again.
Clean slate.
If Pixel wants to get in touch with me and a few others, John Malin and, you know, Cecil and Adam Friended and all, you know, people,
reach out.
Everybody who's ComicsGate, Adam Post, we kind of together create something that's a little bit more, I think, helpful to what we're trying to do. Because I mean, IndieCron, didn't it just kind of become like, hey, we're just promoting every independent comic book? Like,
yeah, that's what they were trying to do when they were breaking away and trying to make a separate business out of it. Yeah, I know Pixel. Pixel and I message each other every now and then, and he's a good guy. We were just talking a couple of days ago, and this issue occurred to me, and I got a little passionate about it. I messaged him this exact same message that I'm now saying publicly, that I feel like I've made mistakes in life too. I'm old. I'm 49. So I know when I've screwed up in the past, and I look at it and I'm just like, why is this poor little guy getting stepped on for no reason? But in any event, whether we could do something with Pixel or not, ComicsGate is going to the next level. Everyone's passionate. Everyone's focused. It's not that big of a deal for us to put together a simplistic website and get a mailing list together. Of course, there's CG Only that's coming up now too.
CG Only is great.
Yeah, we love CG Only. We love Roku.
Maybe that's what we do. Maybe we build up CG Only.
Promotion is not gatekeeping either. So many people think that if you're promoting that you're obligated to promote every book that you see. Like, that's not the case. Like, if you don't like something, you shouldn't have to promote it, and they shouldn't be able to accuse you of gatekeeping just because you don't like something. You're not obligated to like every single thing out there.
Actually, I was just going to say the reason why us CG people promote each other a lot is not just because we like each other's book, but the creator is part of the book too. So I've had people, you know, I want to support whatever Adam Friended does. I want to support whatever you guys are doing. And I know it's going to be good, but it's also what you're doing.
But we're all we're kind of curating the market here. Like, we want to promote the people that we think are going to do good work because they're going to make us look good. So, I mean, there is a little bit of that going on.
We'll figure it all out.
Yeah, but that's just good business, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
It's the same thing with being on a stream. It's like, if you want to be on people's streams, get more entertaining or whatever, you know? Like, that's just good business practice.
I 100% agree. And Brian Urso, by the way, just sent me over a $50 super chat.
He's cool.
Wow, Brian.
Nice.
Hold on a second. By the way, Mr. Biggins for $11.11 says, chat, hit R to politely ask John Delarose to put some respect on the Godfather's name. The Godfather meaning your boy Zach. So if you guys feel like John Delarose thinks he's joking. Like, he's like, why do people care? I don't care. People do care. If that's how you feel, you want to send a message to John Delarose, go ahead and put an R in the chat. I don't know if he'll listen. But I mean, you know, John Delarose is somebody who should be motivated by money. more than anything else, and that's just sent a message to him. John, I hope you're motivated by money.
Money is merit in this business. Money is merit. So you make more money by being real, and I think that's what Mr. Biggins is talking about.
What is the R for dumping the name? Yeah, dump the name.
Just respect. Respect. R for respect.
Oh,
yeah. The Godfather.
Yeah. That's something. A lot of R's in the chat. You know.
Something to think about.
Mama Giganti said, sorry, I can't. I don't respect JDA. Nobody's asking you to respect him. They're telling you to put an R in the chat to tell him to please stop using Diversity in Comics' name because it's disrespectful. Optimus Deadpool says, did you read my super chat? I fell asleep listening to y'all's soothing voices. LOL.
Yes. Was it a good nap? What'd you dream about? Was it a cyber frog?
He dreamed about Doug Tenayful going,
oh no.
Went up to a sexy pillow, Adam.
I was in the plot of Alien 3. I was trying to escape the base.
Talking Pulp says, or like 200 Watt Studio says, Mike's an anvil, Doug's a wedge. Yeah. Talking Pulp said, by the way, that was really hard promoting the Meg, that campaign. When I said it's like dragging an anvil, I meant trying to promote that campaign. I could not get people to buy it.
You mean Theme G?
What's that?
Theme G, you called it.
Theme G, yeah. Theme G. The Meg is Theme G.
It was like, what is this? What is this thing that you guys are offering in this campaign? It's like, oh, it's three books. It's an anthology. Well, yeah, but no, it's 3 separate books.
3 separate books that look like they're trying to become movies on Netflix, and it's just I can sell Lone Star. You know, Lone Star was okay to sell because everybody got it. You know, it's a Captain America superhero, Texas superhero guy.
I think if you just had any one of those books, he could have done more dollars with just any one of those books.
Yeah, I agree.
Just one book.
Brian Urso's $50 super chat. Thank you, Brian. Cheers, man. Hey, gang, don't forget my progressive rock band Gideon's Mob debut album is out now on iTunes, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Google Play, CD Baby. And in May, our second album, which is called Space Cadet Supernova, great name, comes out. And we are in Prague Mag this month. ComicsGate rules. Cheers, Brian. You rule. And thank you for your continued support of this channel and ComicsGate. All of you guys, thank you so much. Chimera SOS Volume 1 is still in demand until March 3rd. SOS Volume 1. 200 Watt Studio says EVS started GoFundMe to get funds to buy IndieCron. I don't think I want it.
No.
Talking Pulp says it took time, but the leeches have come and gone. Your stream crew is now the best it's ever been. I agree. I love these guys. Good people, no weirdos, and everyone understands what's important: camaraderie, loyalty, and success. That's it. That's what it is. We all have to stand by each other and promote each other, and that's how we succeed. That's how we win.
And good comics.
Yeah. Great comics.
You know what? I'll tell you guys, I've hired different freelancers, whatnot. I hired a freelancer to do something. He's a CG guy. And what he did, I wasn't 100% with. And then I contacted him. I'm like, in a different world, like if it wasn't CG people, if we weren't all so tight, I would have just paid him and been like, all right, I'm done with it. But I'm like, no, if you hire somebody and you're in CG and you're in the CG group, you've got to show mad respect for everyone, and everyone else feels that same way about you. We're very careful to respect each other and respect each other's relationships, at least the people that are in CG now. And long story short, net result was the final piece. He was so cool about it. He just made it amazing final piece for me. And you'll see it in an upcoming title, whatnot. It's just what we have is just so special because we cultivate it and we're so cool with it. That's why we all just have to be cool with each other like that. We're making great books here.
Vielnet says, as of today, Edwin has taken IndieCron off his handle on Twitter. Okay, so that's fine. All these guys come in and they build it and destroyed it. And, it's great. Sean Davis says Pillowman and Blanket Boy in demand on Indiegogo. ComicsGate says God damn it! I bit my tongue, Skull Crusher. I bit the side of my tongue, and my tongue is thick, and I'm tripping all over it.
That's the worst. That's the worst. You bite it again, and then it gets bigger, and it's just a matter of time.
It's painful to talk. You have to be careful. Sean Davis says Pillow Man and Blanket Boy in demand on Indiegogo, ComicsGate. The Buzz General and the J Team says Rest in peace, Neil Peart. Rush rules. I was never a fan, but I know Neil Peart's he's a terrific drummer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw them when they came over here, and it was pretty exhausting. It was like 3 hours of just Rush, and you're like, at the end of it, I was like, okay, I need to fucking get out of here.
is he retired for a couple years because he had the tragic death of his wife and his child at the same year. So the guy actually just left the band and got on the back of a motorcycle and just disappeared and drove the country for a year. Nobody really knew where he was. He checked in every once in a while. So he had finally kind of recovered from that. Rush came back, did a great album, did a good tour, and he met a new woman. They had a kid. So he was just a newlywed and had a new kid, and now he's gone. It's horrible, man.
Adam, who was the lazy comic skater? 200-watt studio for $2.
Oh no. He wants names.
Are you asking me?
Oh, you're talking about Adam Post?
Yeah, I don't know.
There is no lazy comic skater. Let me explain.
Well, I don't know.
I explained it.
I might be the lazy comic skater.
Yeah, but writers are allowed to be fucking lazy, man. No one depends on you.
Everyone was talking about working hard, and I was sitting back. I was thinking, I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should say anything.
You might be talking about. If you're talking about Skull Crusher, then it's a different story.
When I watch Ethan drawing those frog books, I think, oh my God, he's in hell, and he's showing us right now.
Just so I'm clear, the CG person that I hired is Narwhal. He did a good cover for me for College of the Dead 2. It was an attractive cover, but he didn't consult me initially on layout. So he wound up executing a finished piece that I was like, well, I wish you hadn't have done it, and he's like, oh man, I'm sorry about that. And he was so cool to work with. So in the past, I would have been like, well, this is too much work. I'm just going to pay him and not work with this guy, but I'm going to, you pay him. So, but I'm like, no, I don't want to disrespect him because I invited him to do a cover for me. I really wanted him to do a cover. He said, he's like, look, let me just do it again. Let me do it something different. And we got talking, and he was incredible to work with. He gave me a gorgeous piece. You've seen me share it. And it's by Narwhal, and I'm so proud to have his work, and I love his work. And I'm actually proud of myself for how I handled it, because you don't want to invite someone to do something and not give them a chance to do their best work. And Narwhal's an incredible talent. We just didn't communicate properly. So we communicated, and we got it done. But if it wasn't for CG, it's asking a lot to invest and continue to invest in a relationship like that, because I wasn't sure I was going to get something I could use. So it was Narwhal. There was no laziness. He did almost 2 covers for me for the price of 1. He's amazing, and I recommend him highly.
Diablo Arizona says weirdos are entertaining. Sober Cecil sucks. I agree. I cannot wait until Cecil starts drinking again. It's awful that he stopped drinking. It's the worst thing ever. Sober Cecil, trying to do a show with Cecil, and he's sober and lucid and everything.
Man, I grew up with all those after school specials about peer pressure and stuff like that, about how your friends will want to peer pressure you into trying drugs and alcohol. And then I hear this and I'm like, wow, it's true.
Just like they said. Well, if you think about it, he's not going to launch Cash Grab sober, is he?
No, he better not.
No, that's not going to happen. That can't.
No, he says he is, though. He's like, there's going to be a tier for me to drink. No. Stretch goal for me to drink.
See, that's what's so great about us all working together. We'll have a talk with him and get him straight.
We'll get him loaded.
Hurry up and make that Cyberfog vodka, and then send it over. You get free advertisement on the Jack Show.
I like that idea.
Oh, good. You got a lot of great marketing ideas, Lit Devil.
Are we all enablers, though, in our own way?
Yeah, I know. Art, help me out here. You grew up with those after-school specials too.
We're helping Cecil make 6 figures.
You lush, it's funny for us.
There's actually in my book. There's a character, because my book is about a bunch of drug addicts that save the world, and there's a guy that decides he's going to detox at the most inopportune time, And all of a sudden he drinks and he's like Superman. He's like, I'm back.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like real life.
Yeah, totally. So when you guys are talking about Cecil, I think of that character and I think, yep, that moment's always the good moment right there.
Sort of like that moment in that movie Beer Fest, at the very end of the movie, They go to Germany, but no one can remember where the secret beer drinking contest is. So they get the guy drunk, and he remembers exactly where to go.
Yeah, exactly. There's some people that are just like that. There's some people that are normies when they drink.
People are saying, let's see, 200 Watt Studio says, hold Cecil down, hold up his mouth and the floor. I mean, that's probably going too far. I'm sure that infringes.
You have to get a funnel because then you'll waste a lot of precious alcohol.
So true. Yeah, so true. Narwhal's a valuable asset. No ego. He's all about the art. Truly one of the best talents in independent comics currently, says Liam Gray.
He's fantastic. He's fantastic.
He's my colorist on Chrono Mechanics. So yeah.
Oh yeah. He's your colorist on Chrono Mechanics. Anybody should really think about. Just hit him up. He's very reasonable on rate too, and he'll tell you when he can do something. And I'm sure he'll do a layout for you first. But specifically ask him because he just wants to please and he wants to turn the work around. But anyway, he's great. Narwhal is great.
I pay him in hookers and cocaine, and it works out pretty well. College of the Dead just jumped to 9270, by the way. So
fantastic! Thank you, guys.
Moving towards that, 5 figures mark there. Chrono Mechanics. Let's refresh and see if we sold any of these. I hope so. Yes, we did. 29,302.
Beautiful book.
Moving forward.
That next stretch goal, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, Micah Curtis was too lazy to come in here.
We found the lazy comic skater. We finally sniffed him out.
Poor Micah was sitting in the waiting room for so long, and I'm like, no, you got your place, you lost your place, and now it's mail-in and Dev came in here. But 12,604. We sold a couple for him. Death Swarm Book 1. Let's refresh. Keep our fingers crossed. Yes, I love it.
Gotta be you gotta get fantastic. Deadbeats. You gotta be
so close now.
Very close.
33,877.
That's awesome.
Okay, get up to 877.
That's Deadbeats number, yeah.
And guys, you don't even know Carl is doing and redoing new color art. He's upgrading it as he goes. He just keeps working on that book, and it's looking amazing. And he shares some stuff. You saw some of the stuff you see on Twitter. Make sure
I shared too much stuff. I was working on a page today that I'm so happy with, but it's too big and it's too epic. I don't want to show it off because I really want people to read it. But then I'm like, I could sell some more books if I post it. So I'm so scared.
Well, people see it and they kind of forget when they see it in context in the book. It'll they'll love it too. So I wouldn't be fair. I feel the same way when I buy work and it's gorgeous. Sometimes I don't show it for a while and I'm like, no, dummy, I got to show it. People can see how good Narwhal stuff is. They can see how good Javier's next cover is. I think it's just good to share it unless it's a real spoiler for the story.
Let's refresh Graveyard Shift 2. Boom. Let's find out. Come on now. Yes. A little bit of progress there.
Wonderful.
Towards 46. Cyberfrog Blood Honey didn't do anything, I'm sure, but let's refresh it anyway. 74. Oh, yes, it did. Did it? Or did I lose money? No, I think I gained a backer. Okay. I think it was at 05, and I think I gained 1 backer. So that's good. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Cool. Those comics are going out by Wednesday. All of the line art variants are going to ship, and we're going to be done. Do you want to watch any more of the old ComicsGate stream, or do you want to just call it a night? What do you guys think? Everybody here is tired. This has been going on for 3 hours. I don't know.
I think we should. I'm good. We should let Art should have veto power. I think he was on that stream.
Yeah, I'm game. If you guys
what Adam wanted you to veto. Adam was talking about letting sleeping dogs lie. Crusher. And you know what? Edwin pulled his. It was just a couple days ago. I was talking to Pixel 4 days ago. Like, why is Edwin still involved with Indicron? How is he helping Indicron? I think I mentioned it on Wenger's stream too. And now Edwin is pulled off his Indicron association. And now Edwin is stepping back. So maybe we do want to just kind of throw some water on it for today. And
Well, yeah, I'll go to my sketch stream. We're gonna end this stream. I'm gonna finish the super chat. By the way, guys, back College of the Dead, back Chrono Mechanics, Englewood, Death Sworn, back Dr. Alpha. Back Graveyard Shift 2, and if you want to back Cyberfrog, I will never tell you no, don't do that. I appreciate all of your massive support for ComicsGate projects. All the books did well today. Let me read the rest of the super chats, and then I'm going to see you guys again in a little bit. Let's see. Chris Croissant says, "R.I.P. Neil Peart." SeedFan85 says, "How did Edwin destroy Indicron?" In my opinion, I'll answer that. In my opinion, Edwin turned IndieCron, which was meant to be a ComicsGate, site to monitor ComicsGate campaigns, into just a vague indie comics, chronicler, which was completely worthless to everyone. That's how he destroyed it. 200 Watt Studio says Bitcoin update. Great question. Let me look at it before I make fun of it here. Because what if it jumped up to $9,000? That wouldn't be funny at all.
It'll be going back down.
Oh no! It did jump up to $8,109, which is still not great, but it's climbing back up there. So that's the Bitcoin update today. Palpatine Magic Baby Makers says, "Look to the future, not to the past." ComicsGate. That's right. Learn from the past, but we don't have to always look back, or always look backward.
Yeah.
Lack Robat says, "Just back Deathsworn, Han Ireland."
Awesome.
What does that mean?
Oh, that's so cool. No, Han Ireland. It's like, come on, Ireland. That's the great dude. There's so much Irish people. Like, there's a small pool of them, and it's so fucking cool. It's like, I thought I was like this crazy madman on an island, like going insane, being like, why does no one see what I see? Like, and but there's a ton of people, and every time I've ever super chatted you on a stream before I got on, or I went on our streams, or I'd find people. I went on Narwhal stream and I found a guy who was like knew all the shit, and it's so cool, man. It's so cool.
Man. Yeah, I love seeing that. I love seeing that we have lots of Irish people looking out for their fellows here in ComicsGate. We got people all over the world. No matter what time you live stream, somebody's up and anxious to be a part of it. That's what's great about it.
Yeah,
truly international.
Mr. Biggins, wow, $33.33. That means that they've got something important to say. It says, John Delarose, I was neutral on you prior to now. Comics fans made a polite request and you mocked them. Not ComicsGate in my book. Bye. And then 3 daddy's belts in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, honestly, John, I know John's whole thing is I'm not doing anything. I'm just doing it. You consider it. Consider taking that name down because it's not making you any money.
Just sometimes think about how other people feel. It's important, and not just. I'm not saying you. We all have to do that. So JDA, think about how it makes other people feel, and not just Zach, but like these individual people that had a connection with it. That's all. Just think of how other people feel. It's not just what you think. It's how do you make other people feel. That's all.
Well, John says this. He says, you can request things of me, Mr. Biggins. I can say yes or no. Saying no or I'll think about it is not mocking or anti. Okay,
it is what it is.
That's John's answer. King of Churros says, I just started watching and you're going to close the stream. I see how it is, you fat loser.
Oh, I'm working on it. I'm still a little fat, but I'm working on it. It's not work. It's not work. Oh, you think it means you? Okay.
Yeah, he means me. Almost certainly. Yeah, I know. Let's see. 200 Watt Studio says Dry Cecil needs to turn in his Irish passport. I agree. He's not allowed to go to Ireland if he's not drinking. I think that's probably in there.
Yeah, that'd be a waste of time. There's literally nothing else to do. He'd look at like a couple of big rocks in a field, and then he'd be like, "All right, let's hit the pub."
Yeah, I would tell people in the chat who are upset about John Delarose, don't get hung up on John Delarose. Don't take your eyes off the ball. If John Delarose isn't producing comics that you want to support for any reason, leave him alone. He's allowed to watch the show here. He's allowed to be a part of the show. Let's focus on the creators here who you do want to support. And, thank you. And endlessly, you are supporting us endlessly. So thank you for that. And let's try to keep this like a positive movement, a fun movement going into 2020 for that $10 million. That's
10 million.
what we're after.
8 figures, little lady.
Yeah, 8 figures this year. We can do it. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. And I'm going to turn on my camera and you're going to watch me draw if you want to. I'm just going to live stream me chattering and drawing Cyberfrog sketches over and over again. So if you want to join me, you're definitely welcome. If not, I'm sure a lot of other comic skaters are going to start live streams. Please support them as well. And have a great night, everyone. Thank you guys for being on the panel. Appreciate you.
Thank you guys. Thanks so much.
Take care. Thanks for inviting us.
Pleasure.
Bye-bye.